What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And this one I'm going to be showing how to make a Pomni. A lot of Pomni, just a few Pomnis. You can see at the bottom I'll have text to tell you which one is which as you are seeing them right now, and you can check the video should have chapters that will lead you to each of them if there is one you specifically want to do. They are in order in how you see them in the show, and I didn't do every single one. I just have 8 here because I felt like that was a nice even number. And yeah, you will need the original Pomni for that. I will explain that in the next clip. Please go watch that part. And yeah, here are all of them as you can see. And enjoy the tutorial. Feel free to pick one or two if you do not want to do all of them. Obviously, it's a lot of it's a long tutorial for sure. But anyway, enjoy the video. And with that being said, I will catch you on the flip side. Alright, so for all of these, you will need the base Pomni. We're going to be starting with this one. For those of you who have not seen that tutorial, there will be 2 videos linked below. One will be the full tutorial. Check that one out first. It'll be labeled full tutorial. And then there is a short that I also have linked there, because there's a couple things that I did on the original statue that just were not correct, and I wanted to update that. And there's also one more thing that we need to update beyond that, because I didn't realize it until I think I was building... I don't know, it was some version of Pomni. So, yeah, just get those, go follow the original if you have not, and come back, including that short, because that is going to be important. It was only like a color change or two, but still. And then once you are there, come back, and the first thing we want to do is make one more additional change. You need yellow concrete, and it's pretty small. The tops of her shoulders, where you have this 2x2 of whatever block in the middle, you actually want to replace it with yellow concrete. Didn't realize she had yellow, like, balls up here, but she does, so. They technically shouldn't be that big, but it's either that or none, so, you know, I take my pick of having them. So, if you did not mark the grid with Pomni, that is fine. However, we're going to want to do that because it's going to make the structure blocking easier. We only need the corners, though, and you can use whatever block. I'm going to use moss blocks because I like using moss blocks so I can embed them in the floor, and it just doesn't really stand out that much. And I'll tell you how to find each of these corners. So if you take the on the back left or back right, doesn't matter. I'll start with the back left. I want to take the yellow pom-pom or bell. It would be a pom-pom, I believe, on the end of her hat. And if you're under the back left corner or the back outer corner, again, it's the back left on the left side and back right on the right side, you want to basically make sure you just go straight down from this. And it's not this block, it is one more back. You will just replace that corner with moss. And I'll do the same from the back right. So from this block, I will count back an additional 1, and it will be here. And you should make sure that these are in line. Another thing you should also check is, well, obviously, again, look, they are in line, that is correct, but you want to make sure that if you look up as you're, like, walking between these, that there will be blocks directly above you at the very back center of the hat, but nothing sticks further back than this. In line with this moss on either side, you can trace forward, and it's going to be in line with the front row of the shoes. But again, you're still in line with these back corners, and then the front of the shoes. And it should give you a rectangle, and you'll know if this is wrong in a second. That looks about right, I think. Yes, okay. Like so. So as you can see, for me, they aren't very obvious. I'm actually going to quickly replace them with emeralds so you guys can see it better, because I don't really care. This is a copy of the world anyway. But if you've ever noticed in the, like, front left corner of most of the statue, at least these ones, there would be, like, a random moss block in the ground. That was always my marker for the corner. So anyway, you should have this. The other thing you need to do is not open your help tab, because it's not really going to do you much. You need a structure block. So in the Minecraft chat, you can type the following. You can type /give @s structure _ block like this. And it'll give you one of these bad boys. I want you to pick a random corner and place the structure block down. For me, the front left will give you this box that is going in the direction of Pomni. You just want to make sure it's staying technically within the grid space, as you can see. I'm in line to that one, I don't know, and I'm also in line to that one. And I don't remember the numbers, but across the front, if you basically move like left to right in front of Pomni, if you have your show coordinates on Bedrock, or if you just, whatever the button is, I think it's like F11. No, it's not. It's F4, maybe? Or F5. It's F5, I think. I don't remember, but it's some button like that on Java. You see on Bedrock here, you have under your game, your world options, you have show coordinates. I always have this on. It is very nice. What? Oh, player world. Never mind. So as I move across, you see the third coordinate is changing, which is the Z. If I move front to back, you see the X coordinate is the one that is mainly changing. I mean, if you're not perfectly aligned, the other one will change a little bit. So that is the X, which means going front to back for me will be X, and going left to right will be Z. So I'm just going to type some numbers. I'll do 35 and 15 to start, and I'm too small on both of them. Nice. So you basically want to do whatever combination of these two until you can see all 4 of your corner blocks. Which, I think this one is like 40, is it 45? Okay, it's 40 on the dot. Right, she has a 2-block center, I forgot about that. So it is, one will be 40, one will be 18. We'll get to the Y in a second, and you can see, wow, I have some scuffed things going on with the shoes. You might have some weird inconsistencies like this to what I'll be doing. I do apologize, because this is the original version, not the tutorial one. I completely forgot to see if I could get that one. And the Y coordinate will be like 65, I think is actually exactly correct. But that includes the ground layer, so if you don't have the ground, it would be 64. And then I would recommend naming this Pomni. You know, her name. You can do capital P lowercase, just remember what you do. I do all lowercase because keyboard. And you want to press this nice save button, and you'll see at the top it says structure saved. So for each of these, I will show it, but you'll place the structure block down, you'll go into the load mode, and then you will just type in the Pomni. But again, I'll show that in a sec. I'm going to put the structure block away for now. And that is, congratulations, you've successfully copied Pomni to be pasted as many times as you need. Now let's get on to the actual ones for whichever you want to do. We will start with a fairly simple one, and that is Possessed Pomni. So, these are going in episode order, by the way, in case I didn't say that in the intro. I don't know what was said and what wasn't. Get out a structure block, although you have the chapters at the bottom anyway. Or get back out your structure block that you used to copy the original Pomni. If you didn't do that, go back and watch the beginning segment, because that is important for a lot of reasons. Place your structure block down on the ground. Go into the load mode, which is just clicking whatever this is. You see it would be on save, you would click the button and then click load. And type in whatever you named it. For me, it was, I know it's crazy, I named the Pomni statue Pomni. And then you can hit this load button, and you see it's Pomni appeared. And now I have the emerald blocks. Those are going to annoy me, but it's fine. So, this version is, it's not a lot going on. We're going to start with the head, because the head is what changes the most. Start by getting out the following. You need black concrete, sulfur stairs, smooth quartz blocks, smooth quartz slabs, smooth quartz stairs, blackstone stairs, blackstone slabs, which we're going to use for blocks, smooth sandstone blocks, and smooth sandstone stairs. And of course we'll need slabs, and that should finish the face. So, firstly, I want you to just remove her eyes and her blush. Just fill it with smooth quartz, or replace it all with smooth quartz. And you will remove the fence gates here. They won't actually get re-added or anything. They just don't exist. So you want probably a more cursed version than we're making once you're done with that. Like so. Oh yeah, no, that's pretty weird. Remove the eyebrows as well, the polished blackstone slabs. Preferably don't break anything. So you should just end up with a flat, blank face, other than the little mouth. Take the... On either side, you have these two, or this like diagonal of 3 dark oak planks that is in line with these smooth quartz, or sort of embedded in the head. Between the upper 2 ones, I'm going to break these smooth quartz here on either side. And it's... They're placed a little bit higher, and I guess... No, it's not further up, but it's higher than the other eyes were. And then you'll break 3 blocks in from either of those, and you should end up with this. Why am I doing it like this? Break 3 rows down from those, and that'll give you these 4x4 openings. The reason we removed the other ones is because these are actually shifted a block higher to make the mouth work better. Place black concrete around the kind of perimeter of this, leaving a 2x2 gap in the center. What is going on there? It doesn't matter. A block back within that 2x2 space, you will fill it also with black concrete. Keep in mind where that space is. If you want to wait to do that, you can, because, yeah, no, the lighting gets a little bit freaky here. In that 2x2 opening in the bottom right, you want to place a sulfur stair facing left. This goes for both of them. Once you place that one, it gets a lot easier. It's almost Pac-Man. Left of that, you'll have a sulfur stair facing right. Above that one, an upside-down stair facing right, and then in the remaining block, you'll have an upside-down stair facing left, like so. I feel like that's more cursed than with the teeth, the possessed mouth. Leave one row open below the eyes, and the next row of smooth quartz down, you're breaking the full row except for the left and rightmost blocks, which keeps it in line with the eyes like this. I'm then going to the next row down. I'll break pretty much everything, pretty much the whole row. Again, I'll do the same thing. I'll leave one off the left and right. And you see I did just break the white concrete that was there for the inside of the mouth. But this smooth quartz block on either end that would be below the gap on the top, and it's also the outermost ones of this. You'll need a placeholder for this, but you want a smooth quartz stair facing in on either side, like that. The next row of smooth quartz down, you will break the full thing, except for, again, the left and the rightmost blocks, and place one slab moving in from either side, like that. You can get rid of the sulfur stairs, along with, I think, all of the smooth quartz. And get out either structure voids or barriers, or even string would work, along with white carpet. And smooth sandstone slabs. We'll probably have to rearrange so these two are next to each other. But if you do not know, you can do /give add structure underscore void like that, or you can replace the structure underscore void with barrier if that's your preferred one. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, between these two slabs at the bottom, a block down, maybe off this row of 6 smooth quartz, you'll place your structure void, barrier, whatever in front of the middle 4, with white carpet on top. Yeah, my bad. Place blackstone slabs behind each of those carpets. And then behind these slabs outside of them, I'll place blackstone blocks. Up diagonally out from those, more blackstone slabs. And then outside of those, which is behind these stairs, you'll have blackstone blocks again. Upside down stairs facing in on top of those blocks, and you'll connect those together with upside down slabs like so. That gives you the inner mouth. This really reminds me of Regan, like a lot from Exorcist. I've never seen Exorcist, but I'm familiar with what Regan looks like. Take the bottom middle of the mouth, and between or behind these two blackstones, you'll place smooth sandstone blocks like so. I think it's going to be easier if we head inside the head and look forward, because just placing these is annoying regardless, and we have less to deal with here. Outside of those blocks on either side going left and right, I'll place smooth sandstone stairs facing into them. You don't need these, but I'll place blocks outside of those stairs because I can place stairs on top of those blocks, once again facing in. Outside of those stairs, more stairs facing in, and then blocks on the edges. Above the blocks, upside down stairs facing in. And then inside of those, upside down stairs facing out, which will give you this very strange diagonal gap. It'll make sense, except it actually probably won't. You then want upside down slabs inside of those stairs, then blocks, and then in the dead center, a set of upside down stairs facing away from each other like this. And if you look from the outside, it'll look like this right now. They aren't perfect. I was really struggling with, because I wanted the middle one to be lower, but I reasonably can't do that without just sacrificing a bunch, thanks to the 2-block center, of course. Behind all the smooth sandstone, you want black concrete. Try not to trap yourself in here. I mean, you're going to, realistically. So just break out wherever. And make sure you fill the hole, obviously. Don't want a hole in Pomni's head. But that is actually the, mouth done, or the head done entirely. So what I want you to do from this point, this is kind of weird. You can clear your inventory firstly, although I'd keep the structure void somewhere safe. Not necessarily in your hotbar, like, you know, up here or something. Remove pretty much all of her, like, limbs. Although you're keeping the feet. So you remove leave the shoulder joint and leg joints as well. So leave the ball joint here. I'll leave the yellow at the bottom, and then I'll break all of these smooth courts below this, and also the hand. Do be careful when you are breaking the hand, though, because, at least on this side, because you have red on red, and you want to make sure you know exactly what you need to break and what you don't. You can kind of look up for inference, but it's pretty much that. You would break this full corner row, so it looks the same as the other side, other than the colors being inverted, but that's besides the point. And then the other arm is a lot easier. You're breaking these smooth courts again, obviously. And the hand isn't really connected to anything, although do make sure you don't break the pom-pom. Or the button, whatever you want to call it. It is a pom-pom, but if you want to refer to it as a button, I suppose that also is technically true. So that's a armless Pomni. And then, again, you're doing the same to the legs. You're just breaking the smooth courts of the legs, though, because I didn't position the feet differently at all for, like, I don't think any of these, except for the one, the dancing Pomni from episode 8 during running the show. That one's feet are a little different. Well, one, because the shoes were different, but she has one of her legs kicked up. So you should have this. We'll need to do, I think, a little bit of fixing. Okay, maybe only on the one side with the arm position. But anyway, get out yellow concrete, smooth quartz blocks, and then both red and blue concrete. We'll start with the legs because I feel like they're easier. It's gonna be her... We'll start with the harder of the two legs. So the left one, which is her right leg, but it's left if you're looking at it. Underneath the yellow here in the center, you're just going to place 2 smooth quartz down from each of these center 2, basically giving you a 2x2x2 cube. The back left-hand corner I'll bring down by 3. Row to the left, and then a row behind either of those. Same thing again, but you're only going 2 down. So back left corner, 2 smooth quartz down, row to the left, and then that 2x2 I'll bring back. Now we're inverting this, so we're moving forward and right. From the front right corner, I'll go down with 3 smooth quartz. Row to the right, row in front of either, and then I'll take the front right corner, connect down with 2 smooth quartz, and then I'll go right a row, I guess, first, and then forward a row from either side. That's pretty much the most annoying of her limbs. Now that I'm looking at it from this particular angle, her legs feel really short. Although I feel like when you look at it as a whole, they aren't bad. I don't know. Just maybe I'm looking at it strangely. For her other leg, you're starting the same, coming down with 2 smooth quartz from the yellow like so. You then want to take the front row, and both of them you'll extend down an additional 3. And each of it'd be 6 in total, because it's 2 rows of 3. You'll bring each smooth quartz forward 1. Same bending as the other leg, basically. The front row, again, you'll bring down with 2 smooth quartz per block, with each of them being brought forward. And then the back row of that part, you'll bring down with 3 smooth quartz, each one extended back an additional 1. Back row, you'll bring down with 2 smooth quartz, each extended back an additional row. And that's her legs done. She do need some arms, though. We'll start with, again, the same side, the left. It'd be her right arm, but it's the left. Since this one, the yellow doesn't change, or the, cuff, I guess, for her arm doesn't change. Anyway. Extend each of these smooth quartzes. You may have in the middle like this. If you don't, you're filling in line with this front yellow, just back with 2 smooth quartz per block. But if you already have it, then you're just bringing each of those smooth quartzes down by 6. And if you didn't have it, then do it, and then do that. Wow, that was descriptive. Bring the front row of smooth quartz down. And then the front 2x2, you'll extend forward with 2 rows of smooth quartz. The top left corner from there, I'll extend forward with 2 smooth quartz. Row to the left of that row of 2. And then an additional smooth quartz on top of each. And then you're doing the same thing again. I just noticed a mistake, though. So front left corner like this. Place yellow concrete off the front of that you will extend an additional block in each direction, like so. For some reason, I don't have the bottom yellows, but that's fine. I'll fix that eventually. And then what you can do from this point, both hands are the same. Not that we can build the other one yet, but that's besides the point. The bottom row of 4 yellow, I'll take the leftmost 3 and place red concrete off of them. I'll extend that row of 3 up a row, and then from there forward with 2 rows. The right more 2 red, I'll each extend forward an additional 1. And then just in total of those rows, the left more 2, I'll extend each of the front blocks down diagonally forward with a red. From the furthest right yellow of this top row, not the very top row, but the upper more row of 4, I'll extend 2 red forward, and then I'll have one that is placed down diagonally forward and right, like so. And then I'll place red in front of the top yellow. One additional block of this, the frontmost 2 red here, the right more one, I'll do the same thing we just did there. I'll go down diagonally forward and right, like so. I apologize about my voice. I'm not sure what's happening, but anyway. I want to take the other arm, and I'm going to actually just break all of the yellow and stuff. Which should give you something like this, probably. Underneath each red concrete, I'll place a yellow concrete here to make sure that the little circle is centered on the bottom. Now I'll place smooth quartz to fill in the center, and then bring it down with 2 rows. From this one, I'm taking the back right corner and extending down 2. Row to the right, row behind either. Copy that again, so from the back right, I'll go down 2, row to the right, down 1 from either. And then I will actually bring the back right smooth quartz down again. Forward 2 from there. Each of the front 2 blocks only I'll bring right, and then that frontmost 2x2 I'll bring down. From the bottom right corner from there, I'll go forward with 2 smooth quartz. Row to the right, block below each of the 4, and then I will copy that again. So from the front right corner forward 2, row to the right, blocks below. Yellow concrete off the front of that smooth quartz with it extended out in each direction by 1, and then again it's the same hand just with blue concrete. The rightmost 3 yellow of this bottom row of 4 I'll place blue off of. I'll extend up a row from there and then forward 2 rows from that top one. The left more 2 blue will each be extended forward. Of the 3 rows, the rightmost 2, you'll take the front blocks of them and extend them down diagonally forward with blue. And I'll get this one out of the way. The left block, you will have a blue down diagonally forward and to the left, like so. From the leftmost block of this top row of 4, I'll place 2 blue in front. And then from there, I'll do the same thing down diagonally forward and left, like so. Blue in front of the top row of yellow, and as far as I am aware, that is Possessed Pomni done. That was probably, honestly, going to be the shortest one, aside from maybe Evil Pomni. Because Evil Pomni has, like, 1 change that is aside, or maybe, like, 2 changes aside from colors, which will just be a lot of slash filling, but anyway, yeah. Alright, so Pomni number 2 is going to be Spudsy's Pomni. So you're going to start out with the same. You need a structure block, and you need to load this bad boy. So load, and Pomni. And boom, there is your Pomni number, I guess it'd be technically number 3 if you're following all of them, since the original one exists. So, we're going to start with something pretty simple here. We're gonna take off her arms, so just get rid of them. The arms, and this will include these shoulder joints this time, just remove them as best you can. If you want to watch, I'm going to get this arm out of the way first on the red hand side, and then as I go up, I'll kind of show you exactly what has to happen with the top. But you're pretty much breaking just like the actual shoulder itself, and hopefully everything else will just kind of work. My inner edge is going to look a little different than yours will, probably, once I break this. So I'm just going to go flush with that, and then we will... I'll go flush with, like, the side of the body like that, And I suppose I will fix the concretes that are all over the place in color. And I'll just square off her shoulder like that for now. That's fine by me. What? What is that? Oh, okay. So that should be like this, I think. But it's fine. I'll worry about it later. So, do the other one as well. We'll just we'll figure it out after. I just want you to remove the arms in their entirety, and then I'll kind of touch up with the shoulders, because yeah, this one is the first one that will require any sort of slash filling. A lot of them will. Noir Pomni is the only one that is like completely from scratch, so yeah, actually I think maybe it's not this one. I feel like one of them I moved the feet closer, but if it wasn't beach, it was none of them, and I'm making it up, and I was just thinking about doing it on one of them. Anyway, once she has no arms, she will look like this. Oh, that is very sad. I'm sorry, Pomni. You can remove all of the yellow concrete, which are the pom-poms here, and also the yellow around the head, the little collar. This could potentially leave her head floating. For me, it will. For you, it might not, but we will double back on that when we need to. I would actually just take that row off fully, so yeah, you can have her head floating. That is fine. My concretes are messed up there. That's fine. So for the arms, or at least for the start of the arms, I want you to take the top, like, middle row here, and it should be a row of 6, theoretically. From that point, you can take the next row down, and it should be sticking 2 out in total. If you have a third block, you will break the entire top row for now. We'll deal with it more a little bit later. And that is pretty much all. You can actually check this side row here too to make sure that this is 4 tall, and that is correct. You can see 4 tall there and also 4 tall there. The only other thing I'm going to have you do for now is at the bottom of her body, when you have the yellow concrete on these sides, which is where the leg joints connect, the top rows of yellow, I want you to actually cut off that yellow and just slice her body, like, right here. So you're basically cutting her legs off, but it takes a little bit of her torso as well. Like that. I know it's weird, but trust the process. This red and blue concrete mess that is her body, you want to replace all of it with mud. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab out a random block. I'll just get a block of gold. And yes, I'll take the either one of the ball joints, doesn't matter. And on this like top corner, this is a red. I'll place a placeholder and then I'll stand on it. See this coordinate? Figure out a way to note it down. If you are able to use Control-Alt-C, you can. For me, I'm just gonna I'm gonna type it here again, and I think that should be 135, because it's always gonna be 1 off if you have negatives. If you have the position thing like this, which you might not, that's fine. You can remove the placeholder. It was just so we got that Y coordinate correct. Head to the other side of her body, and if you were on the front left, you'd be on the back right over this, and just kind of fly up until you are in line with around this smooth quartz at your eye level. Doesn't have to be exactly this. And you want to do the following. Open the chat, and if you type the coordinates as I did right there, you can press up on the D-pad or up on your arrow on the keyboard, and it will pull that back up. In front of it, I'm going to type /fill, with a space after it, 3 tildes, so those little squiggly lines, another space, and then at the end I'm going to type mud replace, and I'll start with blue _ concrete. And when I do that, you see all the blue will get replaced. I'm then going to, again, open the chat and press up again on the arrow, and I'll remove the blue _ concrete and then type red _ concrete. And do it again, and when you do that, it should give you this. And that is her body. Entirely done, kind of, sort of, not really. We got a couple little things to add. I'm mad because I wanted to put her name on the name tag, like with banner letters, but I just didn't have room for it. You do still need mud, so get it out if you didn't. You need smooth quartz blocks, gray wool, light gray concrete powder, dark oak fences, dark oak fence gates, block of coal, bone blocks, and black wool. So that should get most of everything that we need in. Okay, so if you disconnected her head from her body and, I guess, decapitated her, I'm so sorry, Pomni. You want to take this front row of 4 smooth quartz on the lowest row of her head. Behind the center 2A block, you'll bring either of those, center 2, down with smooth quartz. I will place 3 mud to the outside of either side, like so. And then you can go down diagonally out from there. So it'll be kind of layering that up, but doesn't really matter a ton. Except for the outermost blocks on each of those rows, the remaining 3 you'll bring forward with a mud. So for this left side, I'll take this left bottom row of 2. Only the right one I'll bring forward. For the top row of 3, the rightmost 2 I'll bring forward, and then on the right it's the opposite, leftmost 2, and then leftmost 1. Cool. The mud right here below the smooth quartz in the center, I'll place more mud in front of and extend it an additional 2 off the left and right. Those end 2 muds on either side I'll bring down by 1 each, and then I'll extend out by 1 from either of those. From those rows of 3, I'll bring the center mud down like so. And that is her little collar. I would say pick the left of the 2 center rows, and underneath this top mud here from the collar, I will leave a gap of 1 below, and I'll place a gray wool in place of this mud. And then I will just every other block repeat that with the gray wools until you reach the bottom of her torso, which you should have a gray wool on the bottom block. Yeah. From the top, you would take the 3rd gray wool down, which is this one, break 4 blocks left, and replace each of them with light gray concrete powder. And then place another row on top. From the top left light gray concrete powder, I'll count right by 1 and place a dark oak fence gate here that is just closed. Below that, a fence, and then right of that, a fence gate that is opened, and that would be her little Pomni name tag. For both sides, you're doing the same thing. If I take these sides of her body, I want to take the center 2 rows. We should probably do the collar first, shouldn't we, actually? So yeah, I'll change my mind on that. You want to take the mud here on the back of the collar and extend each of these, like, end 2 ones back an additional 1, just like so. And then I'm going to, if I look directly from the back forward, you'll actually have these little right angles with the mud. The middle blocks of them I'll bring back with a mud. And then from those end muds of this top row, I will count in by 1 and place a mud on top of that. I'll then go back diagonally in with mud again. Smooth quartz connecting between those 2, which is a gap of 2. And then below that full row of 4, I'll place 2 full rows of mud. This middle row of 4, I'll extend an additional 1 off either side. So, it looks a little weird because her head is so far shifted back on the statue. So, yeah, it is going to be kind of strange, but it is what it is. Anyway, now we can take the sides, and you can take these center 2 rows where we have the collar here, and the mud below, I want to extend out with 4 per block. The row below that, I will do the same. I'll extend out with 4 mud per block. These rows, or these ones will stick 1 further out than the top, so keep that in mind. And then the outer 3 rows, I will extend down with 5 mud each. So outer 3 rows, both the back and front layers. This is a little strange. Like so. On the front of the arms, I will take the bottom of this and the, like, bottom 3x3, I'll extend each mud forward an additional 1 in that 3x3. And then pretty much everything on the back side of the arm, except for those bottom 3 rows, you'll bring back with an additional mud. And it will just connect into the shoulder however it needs. like that. The kind of underarm or armpit area, you have a 3-block area. The very middle mud you'll just bring down to give it a little bit more shape. And to kind of have that thinner part of the sleeve still look thicker. Oh, that looks so weird with the... Okay, whatever, moving on. You can take the mud on the underside of... I'm starting with the left arm, because these ones... Actually, they aren't different yet. So... Yeah, no, we can continue doing them both. You want to extend from the back inner corner down with 2 smooth courts from the back inner mud, like this. Place a row to the outside of either one, and then place more smooth courts in front of that. That front row I'll bring down an additional 3 with smooth courts. And then each of those bottom 3s I'll bring forward. 3s? Close enough. The bottom smooth court, or the front bottom smooth courts, I'll bring down again. And the bottom 2x2 I'll bring forward with 2 smooth courts per block. The inner row can extend forward with smooth courts yet again, and the front 2x2 I will extend in with 2 smooth courts per block. And eventually we will build her hands to connect there, but we don't have the concretes for that, so we're not going to do it yet. Okay, you can approach this a couple ways. Even though her feet don't move, I'm gonna just remove all of it. I'm just gonna remove everything below what we've done. The legs, the bottom of the torso, and the shoes. All of it is gonna be gone. Because the position doesn't change, but the shoes are differently shaped. So I think just because of connecting it, it's not gonna make any sense to be like, you wanna add these blocks or whatever. We're just gonna build them from scratch because it doesn't really make a difference. It is weird with this though, because we are connecting down to the ground rather than the usual building up. I'm /filling this. I can't be bothered. This is the point where I accidentally removed the entire statue. Okay, good. You should end up with that. Maybe no dirt, but I don't think it matters, so I'm not just gonna not deal with it. On the sides of the body, these rows of 2 mud on the left and right that are basically the middle of her torso. I want to place 2 block of coal down from either side, or the, like, I guess it wouldn't be the middle, but whatever. Place an additional row in front of and behind those. And then I will extend forward diagonally in with block of coal on the front only for now. We'll do the back in a second, but... Extend in with 3 coal per side, per block as well, which leaves you with 4 blocks remaining in the center for both rows, which you'll fill with sideways bone blocks. Similar thing on the back, just minus the bone blocks, so I'll take the coal on either side and I'll extend back diagonally in with coal, and then just connect those together. Nice. You should have that. It's so weird. Extend the block of coal on these sides, these rows of 4, down with 4 black wool per block, which gives you a 4x4 square of wool, actually. Like so. You can extend specifically the backmost black wool down an additional 1. And then I will extend those bottom ones there in by 3 on the back. I'll then go up diagonally in by 2 with black wool, and then connect together from there. And I will fill everything above that line in with black wool flat on the back here. The front will be a tiny bit different. You are taking these wools, and I'm going to extend down diagonally in by 1 to start. And then the rest is just copied in with 2 black wool, up diagonally in by 2, and then connect together. I wish I placed the correct amount of blocks, and then fill in the front flat with black wool. This is the one bad thing about removing the shoes, because now I have to count what this is. So these rows of 3 black wool on the front. You can take the outer more 2 black wool and extend either of them down by 15. That's awesome. I love that I did that. Like so. I'm then going to take the bottom black wools, and I can take both of them at the same time, and I'll extend for the left block, back diagonally left 1, then back diagonally right 1, right, forward diagonally right 1, and then forward. And pretty much all of these black wools can extend up into something. The inner edge is a little bit strange, though, and I can explain why. So start with all the outer edges first, just connecting them up. The, like, you know, on the right, it would be the right side and the back, and on the left, it'd be the left side and back. They all work pretty easily. But the middle will eventually have an issue that I want to give specific attention to. So you should have this. That's really weird. These inner black wool you will extend up until you are in line with these ones here. So you will... I think it's about the same height as the other sides. But you're basically until you're connecting between black wool at any point. Like here. And then for the just underside here between her legs, you're connecting all the wools together. Some of the things I say in these statues like that just feel really weird out of context. Anyway... The pant legs, every side except for the front, you'll bring 1 additional black wool down, and I can actually confirm and say that my numbers are correct here, which is good. Nice. She needs some shoes. Clear your inventory and get out black concrete, yellow concrete, red, blue, probably smooth quartz blocks, polished black stone slabs, smooth quartz slabs, smooth quartz stairs, and that should be it. I think so. Okay, for these shoes, we're doing both of these at the same time again. I do apologize, because I know that it's sometimes annoying. Take the black wool on the left and right of each leg and extend each of those blocks out with 3 black concrete. Join each of them together, and then the middle 2 rows you'll extend out again with black. Like so. Those are her feet, totally done. I'm going to take each of those concretes, the frontmost ones, and extend down diagonally forward with another black. If I could place these correctly... Cool. And then each of those blacks I'll extend forward an additional 1. Connect the frontmost blacks down to the ground, which should be 2 blocks down. If it's not, just extend the legs further. And of those bottom 2 rows, you'll extend either of them left and right an additional 1. I'll start with the left of each shoe. The inside and outside are the same, so if you want to do them all at the same time, you can. But I'll extend the left side back diagonally left with a black. And then back by 7. I'll then extend right by 5. And then forward 7. So that basically squares off the back of her shoes. Those rows of black concrete are those end shapes. Every single block but the frontmost on either side, you'll bring up with an additional black. Those frontmost just stay a little bit shorter. And then you will just probably want to fill in these gaps by taking the second row of black up from the front and just taking the sides back by 1 to, again, get rid of the little hole. From this point, you want to take the next row up, and on either side, you will leave the front 2 black open and also the back 1, which will be bringing up the 4 that leaves you with. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, I'm going to fill in these little gaps on the side the same way. Just a block in. And then on the back, I'll bring the center 4 black up there as well. And that gives you her shoes. If you want to pull them forward another block, they do feel kind of thick. Although her shoes are very square. That was one thing I had noticed. Okay, hands. These are going to be really annoying. We want to take the right side, which is going to be her left hand, and place yellow concrete off each smooth quartz, and extend that in each direction an additional 1 to give you the normal shape like that. Does that connect it? Is that supposed to connect? I suppose so. Yes. Extend every single yellow except for the, like, back 2. Well, not necessarily. Just extend the front half of the yellow each left with 1 blue each, like so. Either of the 2 rows I can extend 1 lower. And then I'm going to take the back row of 5 and I'll do the following. This bottom one I'll extend left 2, and then it will go back diagonally left. Row above that will extend left 3 and also back diagonally left. Next row only extends 1 to the left, no diagonal. Next one extends 4 to the left and then back diagonally left. And then this top blue will extend back 1 and left 1. If you look at this back side, I'll take this blue here against the yellow and I'll extend it down by 2. And then leave a gap of 1, and off this bottom blue, I'll place 1 behind. So it's a little cursed back here, but that is okay. Also, actually, is it each of them? Yeah, each of the fingers where you have these diagonals on the end, I extend them, what would be, from this angle, it's left an additional 1, but it's technically right. So it just connects more smoothly into the fingers. Anyway, similar thing on the other side, except this yellow is shifted up. So I'm going to place yellow off these smooth quartz the same way. However, I'm going to extend the top row of yellow forward and backward an additional 1. Bring that full row of 4 up again, and then the middle 2 yellow I'll bring up once more. This kind of center part I'll place yellow to the left of. And this one starts the same. The front 2 rows of yellow you'll place red concrete directly off of, extending either row down an additional 1. This time I'll take the bottom red and I'll extend right 2 and back 1. And then the one above it, so you're sticking with the row of 5, you want to extend right 4. And then if you can manage, back 1 and right 1. Next row up just extends 1 to the right. Next row extends 4 to the right. Back 1 and then right. And the top one will extend back 1, right 1. And this one, just if you actually take this red here, I'll extend it down by 4 straight. Maybe you should place a blue on the other side where I told you to leave a gap before, so it also is brought down by 4 and is the same. I'm assuming I just missed a block, but yeah, that's what it looks like. It's not exactly great, but it gets the job done. So it was like, it's the pose where she has her hands clasped together. I think it's when Gummy Goo is leaving, but I could be wrong. Anyway, we have a little bit to change on her face just because. Firstly, the mouth, you can just chain, or you can... You'll need white concrete, I do believe, but you can place smooth quartz slabs in the middle of the mouth like this, which makes her frowning. Not my intention, but okay. The smooth quartz stairs on either side I will replace with smooth quartz blocks, so she's got a very neutral expression right now. Where those stairs were a block above them, or alternatively below the bottom inner corners of the eye, I'll break these smooth quartz blocks and place opposite down stairs facing in. The one on the right faces left, the one on the left faces right. And then you should be able to, if you left the white concrete from behind the other stairs, you should be able to just place one on top, kind of looking through this hole to fill in these sides like so. Two things are happening with the eyes. Firstly, the outer top black concrete I will replace with a smooth quartz. And then the white that is below where we just removed that black, this outermost top one, I'll replace with a black concrete now. So it just gives her a little bit more of like a sad eye look, I guess. I will then, for the eyebrows, I'll remove each of the upside down slabs, leaving these regular ones that are sitting just above the eye, closer to the outside. I'll extend those slabs in by one, and then off the outside of them, the left and the right, I'll place upside down slabs. And as far as I can recall, I will do a quick double check. But yes, that is Spudsy's. I almost said Spudsy's Ragatha. I don't know why I almost said Ragatha, but that's Spudsy's Pomni complete. Alright, it's time for whatever Pomni's next. Oh yeah, President Pomni. So, you know the drill. Structure block you need to place down on the ground. And if you open it up, go into the load mode by just clicking this and then clicking load. You can type in Pomni, which is whatever you name the structure block file, which I would hope is her name. But anyway, and then you can load it, and there you have Pomni in all of her normalness. So the first thing we're going to do with this one is pretty much the same thing we did for Spudsy's, if you guys followed the Spudsy's one as well. We're going to remove her arms, pom-poms, neck, and like her leg joints. So I'll get to the legs specifically because they're kind of weird, but we'll start with the arms. So you're just taking the ball joints off, and also like here, maybe the kind of edge to round off her shoulders a little bit. It's not going to matter a ton necessarily how you do that, because I'll make sure that it is correct when we deal with that in a little bit. But not quite an issue yet. Just make sure you get rid of it. And I am going to, again, doesn't really matter, but I'm going to make sure that the sides of the body are correct with the concrete colors, because it's just a little bit annoying to me when they're off. And as I remove this hand, I'm not even going to worry necessarily about the leg ball joint, but yeah, I suppose I'll still do it correctly. Yeah, whatever. So that's kind of what one arm missing looks like. As you can see, again, the corner or the shoulder top is rounded a little bit, and then the bottom is taken. And then this one, I shall do the same. So I will take this off. I will cut off here, and then I guess I'll fix the hole. I'll fill in the hole, rather. You technically don't need to, because her arm should cover most of it, but I'd fill it in anyway, just because it makes our life a bit easier. This one is weird because I tried to make the eyes different on a lot of these, and with the way that I made her eyes on the original one, there's not a lot of variation you can do that looks good. So you'll see that come into action. You'll see what I mean by that in a little bit. So there she is, armless. Next, I'll have you take off the pom-poms and again the neck kind of collar. So if I remove all the yellow concrete, the pom-poms here, I'm also just going to remove this yellow concrete. And if you have any smooth quartz buried deep in the center of her neck, which you might, you can just clear it off so her head is a little bit not connected. For the legs, yet again, same thing. If you take the bottom, this row of yellow concrete on the far sides of her body, that are the top, where she has the kind of V shape going with the yellow, this top row you will actually break in line with that yellow just fully through her body here to once again remove her legs. Like so. And do I want to just get rid of them? Yeah, get rid of her legs entirely again. Again, this one will be very similar to the Spudsy's one for those of you who followed that one. Who's next? Oh yeah, isn't it Noir next? I'm thinking about it because I'm debating if I want to record another one right now. But Noir is probably gonna be the longest. Aside from maybe Baseball Pomni. Baseball Pomni took me a long time. I'm slash filling the rest of this. Screw it, you can't stop me. Unless, of course, I miss it by a block, which I think I did on the front. Nope, I didn't. Nice. Okay, so you should end up with this again. Her full torso you want to make sure is blue concrete. So you can either replace the red manually, or you can do another slash fill. Again, I'll briefly go over it. If you just take, I'll say the like top right corner, making sure you are far enough out. I'll copy this coordinate, go to the opposite, which would be the bottom back left, and I will need chat type slash fill, copy or paste that other coordinate in, tilde tilde tilde, blue underscore concrete, replace red underscore concrete, and there you go. Nice. If you do not have anything out, you need for this next step blue concrete, white wool, polished tough stairs, polished tough walls, block of raw copper, smooth quartz blocks, and do I want to get that out of the way? Yeah, sure. Red concrete, stone, and stone stairs. We'll do her face last, I suppose. Okay. Starting from the front of her where her head is disconnected. Take this top row of 6 blue in these, and take the center 2. You're going to place white wool directly on top of them, which will connect into these smooth quartz, like at the front of the head, like so. Back diagonally out from the side, you'll place a white wool. And then forward diagonally out, you'll place blue concrete. The blue below those ones, you will extend forward like this. And then I will extend from either of those down by 5. I'll then extend in 1, down 2, and then I will connect together at the bottom, which is just in 1 from either side. Of this bottom row of 4, to make it look better, I actually take the center 2 blue, and I will extend the left more 1 just down by 1, and the right more 1 down by 2, which is a little asymmetrical, but I think it looks better. Inside of this, the kind of all the blue concrete you have here remaining, you want to break and replace with white wool, like this, just inside of the ship. Cool. Of the left and the rightmost rows, you have this top white wool that is missing on the kind of corners. The wools directly below those, you will extend out an additional 1, because why not? And then extend those down by 1 like so. I'll take the top left white wool for this example, and I will extend it right with a polished tough stair facing left. Right of that a stair facing right, and then extend either of those down with an opposite down stair facing the same way as the one above it was. I'll then connect either of those all the way down with polished tough walls, which is the little tie that she has. Next up, the long rows of blue on these sides of the, I don't even know what you would call this part, but whatever it is, this row of 6 blue, I will leave the topmost one open, and the next 3 down will each extend outside, or out by 1, like so. Of those rows of 3, on the right side, the middle one, you'll actually replace with a raw copper, and that's where the little US state flag is. Or not state flag, country flag. Above these rows of 3 on the outside, you will have another blue placed back diagonally up, like so. The blue is at the far top on either side, pretty much that is part of her collar. You will extend those back with 3 blue on either side. I will then from there extend back diagonally in with a blue, and fill in the gap with smooth quartz. Once again, same as Spudsy's, that row of 4 I'll bring down with 2 full rows of blue, and the middle row can extend an additional 1 off the left and right. From this point, you would take those blues and extend them diagonally out twice. So on the left side, it would be, technically it's from this angle, it's back diagonally left, but from the front, it'd be forward diagonally right. So from here, you'd place 1 there, and then 1 here as well, sticking out. And that is her, I believe, her shirt done. Although the bottom we kind of pull out almost like the belt was on the Spudsy's one, and I'll explain why when we get there. I did that. We'll keep the symmetry going because both arms are the same. Take these rows of 4 blue on these sides, and if you have these shoulders rounded as I do, you can see kind of what the result gives you. The middle 2 blue I'll extend at the top out by 3, like so, again on either side. Same thing with the next row down out by 3, which gives you these kind of rounded shoulders. The outermost 2 by 2 on the underside you'll bring down with 2 blue per block. And then the front row I will extend down an additional 3 blue. With each of those that you just placed being extended forward with an additional blue. That front row you'll bring down again. And then extend this bottom 2 by 2, each blue just forward by 1. I'll then extend the inner row of blue forward with 2 blue per side. And extend again each of those blocks you just placed in by 1. Copy that same thing again, bringing the inner row forward by 2 and placing blue inside. And then you can copy that one more time, although this one is kind of weird. We'll have to work around something with it, like so. On this front inner row of blue on either side, I'll place a smooth quartz above and a smooth quartz below, like this. I'll also place smooth quartz inside of the blue, like that. And then, how do I explain this? Off this left row, or if I'm on the left side, it'd be the left row of blue. But this outer row of blue, I want to place smooth quartz in front of, like this, that extends 1 up and 1 down. And then the middle 2 I'll extend out with smooth quartz again. So it gives you this. Visually, if you want to replace these blues here with smooth quartz, you can on the front. You don't actually see it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But you can see it kind of gives you this feel. It's a little strange, but bear with me. Take the top outer smooth quartz block. Of this row 2, it's this one, which you'll extend forward by 1 on either side. And then in by 1. I then want to take the next row down, pretty much actually the block directly below this smooth quartz from the one you just brought out, and you'll bring this one forward by 2 with smooth quartz. And then from there I'll go in by 2. Next one down, same position, I'll place a smooth quartz in front. I'll go forward diagonally in by 1. In. And then back diagonally in. And then from this bottom smooth quartz, again, it's the outermost one, I'll extend forward diagonally in 1 and in 1. And I believe that is her hands fully done, yes. At the very top, you have a pretty obvious slot where you should place something, and you want to place a red concrete there, just in the middle of all these top smooth quartzes. Firstly, extend these reds up diagonally in by 1. Those original reds you will also extend down 1, though. And then down diagonally in 1. Down by 2. Down diagonally in 1. A stone below that. Down diagonally in with a stone. Down. And then down diagonally in where they will connect. I will extend of these bottom 2 stone, the left more one, down with an upside down stone stair facing right. Then a block. Then an upside down stair facing left. And then the right more stone block, I'll extend down with a block. A stair facing left, you'll probably need to figure something out, like a placeholder here or something for that. And then an upside down stair facing right below that. And that gives her the little wire cutters or pliers or whatever they were. I would assume they'd be wire cutters since she was, well, cutting a wire. But either way, it gives you that. Okay. The bottom row of the body. I want to take the front and back, and I will leave 2 blue open on either side, and the middle, what is it, 6? No, the middle 8 you will extend forward with 1 blue each. And I also think backwards. Yeah, also extend back 1 each from those middle 8. So from the underside, you have an oval, I guess. Like the Oval Office. Ah, it's hilarious because it's related to this scene. Extend each of those rows of 8 blue down with 2 additional rows. Get it? Aren't I funny? And then each of those bottom 2, I'll extend left an additional 2, and also right an additional 2. I'll then bring the end row of the body here, these 2 blocks. I'm going to actually bring them down further. Extend them down by... what do I want to do? Just extend them down by 7 for now. From each of those end 2. As I maybe said, I don't know. Like that. Oh, that's weird. Make sure you're on the front side here, and you want to ignore that top row of 2, but extend the 6 blue below that. So I guess actually of the 8 in total you would have, the middle 6 you'll extend forward an additional 1, which again leaves the top open and also leaves the bottom. And then on the back side, you're just bringing the bottom 7 each back an additional 1. Again, same as the Spudsy's was. Cool. That now she just has hips and no legs. That's really strange. Take these 3 blue on these sides. You want to make sure you're taking the frontmost 2. And extend down with 16 blue for each of them. Make sure that it's correct. It should be 3 off the ground, yeah. And same thing over here. You'll know you're on the... I'm not even counting this one. I'm just going to mark it till it's 3 off. You'll know you're on the front 2 when... or the front 2 of the 3 blue because it's the center of the full area. Like that. Okay. I want to start with the back because the back makes more sense. Of this back, boy, this is so weird, what the frick. So on the back, I want to take the top 3 rows of this, like, backmost portion. We're ignoring the part that sticks out. It's of these 5 here that are coming down on the sides of that. The top 3 you'll connect together with blue, like so. Like so. As I just said, whatever. The outermost 2 rows on either side you'll bring all the way down with blue until you're at the same distance down as the sides of the legs that we placed before. Which is, again, 3 off the ground. Like so. I need to stop saying that. On the inner portion, you have this large square. You're bringing the top row of blue in on either side with 2, and then the next row down in on either side with 1, which gives you a more rounded look. I will extend each of the blocks of that rounded section forward by 3 towards the actual front. And then if I take these bottom blues, if I'm now looking from the front, I will extend them out by 2, which will diagonally connect into the blue there. And from that point, everything, you'll just fill all the blue in like this above it. Sorry, I got turned around on my directions and I don't know how. Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. On the inner edge, these rows of 4 blue, on the bottom, you're taking the middle 2 and again bringing them down with blue until the same distance down. Like this. And then of these rows of 3 blue on the front, the outermost 2 you'll bring all the way down with blue until you are 1 shorter Like, one higher up at the end than the rest of the legs. Because the shoes slot into the bottom there. You could technically bring it down to the same, actually, but I feel like it'll be easier if we don't, so... That should give you this. Wow, that is so weird. The full blue is really strange as well. Just looking. Clear your inventory and get out black concrete, and that will be it for now. And same as the Spudsy shoes as well. I'm going to place black concrete under the front blue. And then I will extend those blacks each forward by 3. The bottom blues on the sides of the legs I'll also extend forward with 3 black. And then from each front black concrete on both shoes, I will extend down diagonally forward 1, and then forward an additional 1. Which will... yeah. There you go. And then the frontmost row of black I'll connect down to the ground. And each of those bottom 2 blacks I'll extend out an additional 1. I'll take the bottom left of both shoes, since the shoes are symmetrical, so we can do them both going the same way at the same time to make explaining it easier for me. Extend back diagonally left with a black from there, though. Then extend back by 7. Right by 5. And then forward by 7. Every single black concrete on this end shape, except for the frontmost one on either side, you will extend up with additional black concretes. And then where those frontmost ones would be, you'll have a black concrete filled a block in. So if I took this front of the shoe, I'll bring this side black just back by 1. And then the next row, I'm leaving the front 2 black open, and the 4 behind that I'll bring each up an additional 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that does leave the back corners open as well. And yet again, I will fill these little blocks you're left with in front of that row with a black concrete. And then on the back of the shoe, the middle 4, you'll extend up with a black each. Like so, and there are her shoes for like the 3rd time. Okay. Head up to the face, and you can... do we need the black concrete? Yeah, keep the black concrete, and in addition, get out smooth quartz slabs, pale oak slabs, pale oak planks, white concrete, polished black stone stairs, and polished black stone slabs. First thing I'm going to have you do is replace the bottom row of black concrete on either eye with white concrete, like this. And I kind of want to see if this would look better. If you bring the black concrete down a row. Maybe. If you want, leave it for now and look at the 2 combined, or like compare the 2, what I have on my screen and what you have. I'm looking at them both. I feel like the lower looks better, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna put it back to higher so I can look at that again, especially as we just build up the face more. But I feel like bringing it down might look better because her eyes look very large here. Break the upside down polished blackstone slabs. You can leave these ones, the outermost part of the eyebrows, and extend those slabs you left out by 1 and also in by 1. And then inside of those ones, you'll have polished black stone stairs facing out. For the mouth, take the pink terracotta or the blush on her face and leave a gap of 1 moving in from them, and then break the middle 4 smooth quartz and replace them with upside down slabs. That is so weird. You can break the stairs because that looks unnatural, and then also the block outside of the stairs. And I'll get rid of the white concrete that was there. And what I can do is bring these side smooth quartz blocks, these outermost ones, back by one. Not these top ones, because those will be dealt with in a second. But like that. These top ones, this is so annoying. You want to bring back with a pale oak plank. You might want to just be in her head for this. I think that'll be easier. And then connect those pale oak planks together. At the bottom, I'll place pale oak slabs between these original smooth quartzes we placed that were brought back. And then behind those slabs, I'll place a row of black concrete. And I will just break out of the head since I'm trapped in here now. And you can see what her face looks like now. And yeah, you can mess around with the eyes. Again, I kind of feel like this looked better. Yeah, she looks more unamused when you have the double layered black. So I think I kind of like that better. But it's up to you. I don't know. I'm just looking at them both and I'm like, because the pupils look better with the 2x2. What if I push them down? I feel like that would look really strange. Hold on, I'm gonna mess with this. Actually, that's not that bad. I don't know if it's better, but play around with it however you want. But regardless of that, that is President Pomni done. Alright, so Noir Pomni is the next one. She's probably the most complicated, but I would also say my favorite. So get back out your structure block, and you know the drill with this. Place it down, enter that load mode, and type in whatever you name the file, which is just Pomni for me, and load that bad boy in. So the start of this is going to be real weird. I entirely restructured her body for this one, so take off everything from this point, the tops of these shoulders, all the way down to the shoes. Keep the shoes there, but remove the shoulders, the collar, the body, the legs, all of it. You're just leaving the head and shoes. And make sure you don't interfere with the hair. So, like, I'm going to break a couple rows down because I am paranoid that I'm going to somehow slash fill the hair with air. And then from this point, I'm gonna just slash fill most of it, and I'm not really worried if I don't end up, like, correct. So I'll go down to here, maybe? Go a little further. And I'm just gonna leave the red and the blue for the shoes. I will remove the yellow here, as you can see. Why is that one filled in? Whatever. I'm breaking that. That's also not... What? How? Who... Is that like that on all of them? Oh, I don't wanna know. That's information I don't need. So you should end up with... with this. Alright, that's good. So this is just a lot of fill commands. Although we're gonna start with the non-fill commands. Just kidding, actually. I'll start with the fill commands, because if they get messed up, then that's a different issue. So your red concrete is getting replaced with light gray concrete. Your blue concrete is getting replaced with cyan terracotta. And your yellow concrete is getting replaced with snow blocks. These are the three I'm going to slash fill. So I'm going to just kind of go... you don't have to be perfect. Like, I'll just go down and right from her head like this, and I'll copy this coordinate. I'll Control-Alt-C, but you can do whatever. And then I will head to the opposite corner, like fully opposite. And the shoes don't count for this, by the way. You will type slash fill, copy that first coordinate in, tilde, tilde, tilde for your current one. And then, or I guess you paste the first coordinate in. I always say copy, but I should say paste, whatever. And for the first one, I will do light underscore gray underscore concrete, replace red underscore concrete. And I'll enter it. Okay, well, I gotta go a little bit lower. That's fine. I'm still, all right, well, just get it done. There we go. And then the next one will be, I'll just remove that end part, and I'll do cyan underscore terracotta, replace blue concrete. And then finally, again, I'll remove the end part, and I will do snow, replace yellow underscore concrete. And when I do that, it should give you this. Oh, that's weird with her blush still being pink. But anyway, like that. You can now get out just blackstone blocks and slabs. We don't need stairs. I was just checking that. You need gray concrete powder. pale oak planks, and potentially smooth quartz stairs and smooth quartz slabs. I don't know if we need the stairs. We might just need the slabs. Firstly, you want to just replace each pink terracotta with gray concrete powder. Doing that one manually because it's 4 blocks. This is kind of a personal thing that I changed, but I replaced the white concrete inside the mouth with pale oak planks. And then I'll actually just place smooth quartz slabs in the middle of the mouth like this, where the 2 open full blocks were, and that just makes her frowning. The dark oak for the hair gets replaced with blackstone, just so it was more of a dark, like a more monotone color, or monochrome, I suppose. Make sure you get both these slabs and blocks and that everything gets replaced properly. Like this. What is this, Pomni number 4? Not too bad. Although I think after this one, like... So, I mean, I don't think softball will take that long. Evil will be the shortest, so that'll be good. And then it's the... I can't remember the 8th one for some reason. Oh, Beach Pomni, right. That was the one I was missing. Okay, you should have that. That is the head. You can clear your inventory, and to start the body, you need white concrete, snow blocks, black concrete, clay, polished blackstone bricks, polished blackstone brick slabs, gray wool, pale oak planks, and pale oak stairs, I suppose. Okay, starting from the underside, I'm taking this front row of 4 smooth quartz, and actually I'll take the row behind it. That's a row of 6. It's on this lowest part of the head still. And you'll place a full row of white concrete under it, with 2 snow blocks extended off either side. Extend the 2 snow blocks back 2 per block, an additional 2, I guess. And then the outer snow block from there, I'll extend back with a black concrete, and the inner one back with another snow block. I'll then extend each of the blacks and the snows at the far back here, down diagonally back by 1. I'll extend these snow blocks in by 2 towards each other. And each of those, like, innermost 2 that you placed on either side, you'll extend up with snow and then connect together from there. At the top only. Kind of want to just get the black concrete placed. Extend these bottom ones down by an additional 3. Then extend down diagonally forward 1. And then down by an additional 10. Like so. Won't really matter yet, but it is nice to have. The spot where the black concrete kind of jumps backward a row, you will place clay in front like this. And then extend it forward diagonally out with another row that is the same. It should be a row of 4, as you can see. Extend that row of 4 out again. And then from there I will go forward with 2 full rows? Yes. So towards the actual front. Make sure you know which way that is. I almost just went the wrong way. And then the bottom 3 clay I'll extend forward again. Cool. Those rows of 3 clay you can extend in with an additional row of clay that extends up by 1 and down by 2 from there. I'll then place another row of clay. Well, actually, I'll start with a black concrete inside the topmost clay of that row. And then I'll extend it down diagonally forward 1. Then down by 5. Down diagonally back by 1. down 2, down diagonally forward 1, and down 4. Which should put it at the same height or length down as the back straps. Well, they're the same, but as the other side of the strap. I'm going to... this row of 3 black, the one that is shifted the most towards the back, I'll place a clay above and below that row of 3. That's, I think, is important for the outside, but not the inside. Yes. Okay. Inside, well, actually, firstly, I'm going to fill in the tops of these shoulders, these little gaps of 2, in with clay, because I feel like I'm going to forget if I don't do that now. I want to divert my attention back to the snow, or direct, whatever, something like that. The outermost row of snow is irrelevant. You're taking the row inside of that and extending the front snow forward 1. I'll then go down diagonally forward, down, in, down, then down with a polished black stone brick, then an upside down slab below that, block inside, another one below, and then you'll connect those together with slabs. For now, place 5 blocks below each slab. Like that. Heading back to the top, you can take this row of 6 white concrete we placed at the very beginning of starting the body, and the side ones you'll extend down diagonally forward with snow that you can connect together with white. Extend each white concrete down with more white concrete to just fill in the area behind the tie, or like within the tie, like that. It's kind of like an undershirt. A block back from the tie and the snow and whatnot, you're filling pretty much the full body with clay. So I'm going to take these bottom black concretes on the front, and I'll extend a clay behind either one, and then connect those together. Each of those clays you will bring all the way up until you just fill in all this space here. Yeah, I ended up redoing this one from scratch because of the shaping of the body. I was like, it's going to be different. But then I realized when I was doing the other ones, because I did this one first, that I didn't actually need to do that. So it just kind of ended up being a waste of time. But it looks fine, so it's okay. Get rid of the polished blackstone bricks, or the slabs and blocks, and get out polished blackstone brick stairs, and also the wall version. Extend below the bottom blocks a set of upside down polished blackstone brick stairs facing away from each other with 2 walls below either one, and that finishes the tie. We'll have to replace a little bit of that with cyan terracotta, because I have her hand gripping the tie the same way I did the pom-pom on the original one. Okay. At the... do I want to actually do the back real quick? Because I feel like most of that... okay, no, that is not flat at all. So we'll continue with the front. Take this clay on the bottom behind either bottom black concrete that we placed earlier and extend out by 2, actually, not 1. I will extend the first one, the one closer to the black, up by 3. I'll then go back 1, and all the way up until I connect with clay. Actually, that top one, or alternatively, you'll just take the bottom of the kind of part where the shoulders widen out a little bit, and the middle 2 clay you'll extend just down an additional 1 to round that off more in general. This row of clay that we placed here just before we dealt with that, the one that connected up, you can extend back... I'm going to take the top one, actually, here, and I'll extend back by 2. And if you didn't go all the way up, like I have this gap, because I technically didn't take the top one, you'll connect up into that clay, but you'll also bring it all the way down until you're in line with the bottom, like that. And I'm not going to fill that in yet, but I'll explain that again on the other side, because it was really weird. Basically, the top clay I'm bringing back by 2 of this backmost row that we were just working on. If you need to extend it up to connect, you can, and I'll also extend it down until it's in line with the bottom. These outermost clays I think we can deal with now. I'll extend them back by 3, giving you a total row of 4. The middle 2 clay of that row of 4, each of them I'll extend up by 2. And then the little slit you're left with on the sides, I'll fill in with clay in line with the blocks around it. And that gives you the sides of her body done. On the back, I'm going to take the snow, maybe on the side here? Yeah, sure, why not? And I'll kind of go back diagonally, or it'd be forward diagonally down with clay, but it's towards the inside of the body, like so. So the snow is sticking out. Extend either of those down by 5. Then extend down diagonally in 1, from either side still. Down 1, down diagonally in 1, and connect together. And then fill in everything above that shape with clay in line with it. I guess the good thing about this one is we don't have to deal with the hat, which was what made the Pomni original statue 70 minutes. That makes it easier for all of these. Although the baseball cap one, that's going to be fun. Pretty much the rest of the body down to the bottom, you'll fill with clay a block more in than this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look sort of from the underside, and you can see the bottom is very rectangular. You're just continuing that pattern. These rows of 2 clay where it starts to come in at the back, I'm just going to bring this all the way through, and then each of those clays you'll bring up. Like this. Cool. On the sides, I want to take the front and the backmost clays of these rows of 4 on these sides. Basically the corners of the rectangle, and each of them I'll extend down with 2 gray wool. These sides will be connected together another block out, so I'll go diagonally out with rows of gray wool like this. There you go. The front is a little different, though, because underneath each bottom black concrete, you want an upside-down pale oak stair facing out. On the front, they face forward. On the back, they face backward. You'll want another stair below that facing out that's not upside down, but to make placing that easier, I'll place a pale oak plank off the left and right of these stairs, because you'll need this anyway. And extend each of those planks down by 1. And then you can just, between those bottom ones, place a pale oak stair facing out the same way you did the top one. And then connect the pale oak planks together across the front and back with gray wool, like this. And that is her body at least done. Her arms won't be too bad, so we're actually pretty much finished because the legs aren't crazy either. Before we do the legs, though, I want you to head back down to the shoes we placed forever ago, and I want to make sure that they are exactly the same. Yes, they are. Just make sure that you replace all of these, or like all the concrete, with black concrete. Again, you can do this manually, or you can do the same slash fill we've been doing. If you're not confident with the slash fill, I would not at this point. But I'm pretty confident in my ability, so if you need to pause real quick, you can. And also, I really need to make this video, or need to make these as quick as possible, so this isn't an 8-hour video. But anyway, once you're there, you can clear your inventory, and I will give you like 10 seconds as I debate what I need. Get out the following. Mud. Once again, clay. Smooth quartz stairs. Snow blocks, cyan terracotta, light gray concrete, glass, red stained glass, and I think that is everything. Okay, so The gray wools on the corners on the front, you'll extend either one down by 4 with mud. And I actually think you're doing the same on the back, aren't you? No, you're extending the back corner gray wools down by 5 with mud. I should have predicted that. The row of 5 mud you will extend forward with 2 additional rows, and you can probably figure out where this is going if you followed President or Spudsy's. Although specifically President, because I did it the same way on that one. The front 2 mud of this row of 3 you'll just bring all the way down until you connect into the shoe. And you should connect into the shoe. That is important. If you don't, then rest in peace. Although I don't know how that would actually happen, to be honest. What are we doing here? The top 4 mud on both the front and back, which is literally just the full front row on the front, but that's besides the point. You'll connect across with mud on, again, the front and back. 1, 2, 3, and everybody's favorite, the 4th row, the all-important 4th. You should have that. On the back, it's a little easier to explain. You're just bringing these lowest muds, the bottom of the rows of 5, in with an additional 4. However, on the front, you're leaving the corners open here, and then the next 4 in you're bringing down by 1, which does mimic the shape on the back, but it's besides the point. Of that row of 4, you will bring the outermost 3 mud down an additional 2 on the front. Or, again, on the back of the row of 5, it's just the middle 3 each get brought down by 2. And you can see the shape is still the same on the front and back. Of those bottom 3, the outermost 2 mud on the front and back will be brought all the way down with mud until it basically slots directly into the shoe. It'll slot behind the top black concrete, as you can see. At least on the front. On the back, it'll just kind of exist. But, yeah. I thought I was going to have to make this one shorter, to be honest. Because I had an issue with the... Like, I felt like the legs were going to be too long, but anyway. You can take the... On the inside, this kind of 2 rows going vertically on the... Again, inside of the legs. These 2 rows of... It'd be 3 across. I'll connect the bottom mud together, like so. And then I'll bring each of those middle 2 mud all the way down the same way. And again, you should still connect into the shoes. If the other sides did, this one also should. And then the top mud I will extend up diagonally in by 2 of that whole thing. And I'll connect together at the top from there. And that gives you that, as you can see. Let's do her arms, because she's a little armless right now. Starting with her left or the right if you're looking at it. Take this top row of 3 clay and the frontmost 2, I will extend each to the right by 2. Directly under those, this next row down, actually the next 2 rows down, I will extend each right by 3. So that row and then this row. If you so choose, you can copy that part on the other side, just so we actually have something to work with. So this top row of 3 clay, I'll take the front 2, extend each of them left by 2. And then the 2 rows each below that, I will extend left with 3 clay in line, and that gives you her shoulders. Back to the right, though. I'm taking the rightmost 2x2 of clay and extending each one down an additional 1. That bottom row of clay I'll extend forward, and then this frontmost 2x2, each clay can be brought down by 2. Frontmost row gets brought forward, and then the frontmost 2x2 can each be brought down by 2 again. The front row I will actually bring down again, and then you have a 2x4 you're looking at the front. The bottom left block and the one above that one, you'll each extend forward with 1 clay. And then the leftmost 2x2, if you're looking at this, each clay will extend left by 2. This part is sort of annoying. The back clay here I will extend over with 3 upside down smooth quartz stairs that face back into the body. Place these however you like need to, under, above, whatever. It is annoying though. And then on top of each of those, you'll have a smooth quartz stair also facing back that is about as equally annoying to place. In front of the bottom ones, upside down stairs facing forward, and in front of the top ones, stairs facing forward. I used the stairs just so the arm was thinner than the sleeve, because she has like a sleeve cuff going there, and I wanted to sort of have some sort of difference in width. I'll place snow blocks off of the end of each stair, and I actually only take the row against the body and extend up and down an additional one, so it's kind of shifted off, but that's okay. Of this, I want to take... That's technically a mistake, but it's fine. I'm going to take, because I don't have a block at the back, so I'm going to take the back row of 4 snow, and not the bottom one, but the second one up. I'll just place a cyan there, so there's... You can't just see upper hand, but... The snow in front of that I'll extend left with 2 cyan, and then you'll have one back diagonally left that you'll have to break a brick for. Snow above that you will extend left with 3 cyan, and then go back diagonally left 1 from there. You will copy that row on top of itself, and then this rightmost cyan you can just bring up, like so, and that is her hand gripping her tie the same way. I don't know, I like that pose. We can take the other sleeve now. And if you take the leftmost 2x2, each clay you will extend down by 5. The front row I will extend down with another row of clay. And then this bottom 2x2, each clay can be brought forward by 4. I'll place an additional row of clay at this kind of, like, crux where it bends, just so it's a little bit more curved. And then you're doing the same thing with the stairs coming off of each clay. It's 3. So this bottom left one will be 3 upside down stairs facing left. On top of those, 3 stairs also facing left. And then right of those, each stair will face right. Bottom ones will be upside down, top ones will be right side up. Giving you that. I'll place snow blocks on the end of those stairs and extend them out an additional 1 on each side, giving you this kind of this shape, I guess. I don't know. Of the 2 full rows of snow that are 4, I'll take the leftmost one and place a full row of light gray concrete in front. Sorry, I'm really stumbling over my words. I don't know why. Each of the bottom 3 light grays can be brought forward by 1. And then of that row of 3, the top 2 I'll bring forward again. Each of the 3 light gray at the bottom, the frontmost ones, I will extend them forward diagonally right by 1. On top of this lowest light gray, you can place a glass block that extends back by 2. 2 more glass right of each. And then on top of each of those regular glass blocks, you'll place 3 red stained glass blocks, which gives her the drink that she has in this scene. And yeah, that is definitely my favorite one out of all of these, and I feel like there was something I wanted to explain that I didn't explain, and my bad for whatever that was, but it's gone, it's out of my brain. Anyway, yeah, there's Noir Pomni. Alright, it's time for softball Pomni, who's actually right in line with me, that's funny. Same thing as per usual, structure block, you're just putting that bad boy in the load mode and loading in that Pomni statue from the base one. So this one is a bit strange in the way we're going to have to do this. We will start with what actually has to change, which is mostly just the face and, well, the hat, actually. But I do want to start with the face because this is really easy. You just need to get out smooth quartz slabs and place 2 upside down slabs in the middle of the mouth, just to make it a flat line like that. And why does it look so different? Whatever. What I want you to do for the hat, here's how we're going to remove it. Leave the yellow concrete band for now, because it's going to kind of help us get a good starting point, but remove all of the red and blue concrete, along with the yellow pom-poms. If she has smooth chords sticking up like this, which I don't know why she would for you, don't worry about it. Just ignore its existence. I think I am going to slash fill like a section of this just because yeah, but don't slash fill too much unless you're confident like that. And I'm also doing that to get rid of some of the extra smooth chords that I for some reason have here from when I was originally tampering with this. But you do want to be a little bit more precise because you don't want to be breaking things that you need. I might also do another one that's like here that goes down. Although, again, I do need to be careful. Yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't push it too hard. I'm trying to make this go a little faster for myself at this point. Although I'm not recording all these in the same day, so I do have that going for me. I just don't want an 8-hour video to upload, although we're already past the point to where that would be an issue. It's not gonna be even close to that, unless the final 3 Pomnis after this one, including this one, I suppose, take like an hour and a half each, which is probably not happening. But anyway, that's enough rambling. This one's changes are the hat, in case that wasn't obvious, the hair, and I do have her hands in different, or arms in different positions, including hands. I got her doing the, like, I don't even know what it's called, but the pose where you have your, like, your pointer fingers touching. Because there was, I think, an image I saw where she was doing that, and I was like, that's kind of funny, so we're going with it. Okay, you should end up with this absolute monstrosity. She is bald. Get out the following. You need blue concrete. You do need yellow and red, although not for a little while here. And also pale oak fence gates, dark oak planks, and dark oak slabs, and that should get her head done. So the yellow concrete that we have here on the front, I want you to replace the top of it at least with blue concrete. This row of 6, and then you would do the row of 2 going down in this one diagonal. Just any part that's like flat with the front of the head. Or not flat with it, but the front part that is flush. There you go. Also, side note, you'll need smooth course blocks, I just remembered. You can extend the bottom blues here down diagonally out with an additional blue. You will have to break a dark oak slab for these, but that is okay. This part's kind of weird, but trust the process. Extend each of these blues forward an additional 1. And then I will take that full, like, arc shape and extend up diagonally forward from it, the kind of same shape, but again, you're shifted up a block as you fill this, so keep that in mind. Like so. Extend that forward an additional 2 rows. And then I'll do the same thing again. I'll go up diagonally forward from that arc with the same shape. Every blue except for these bottom ones, I'll extend forward an additional 1. Like that. I suppose now is a good point to deal with the yellow a little bit, although we're going to do this in a different way. Take the bottommost blues, these outermost bottom ones, and it's a row of 2 on the sides where you'll have a yellow behind, and you will replace that yellow with a blue. From there, I'll go back diagonally out with a blue, back diagonally out and back again, back diagonally in and back. Sorry, this is going to be a lot of this kind of symmetry. Back diagonally in and back again. Back diagonally in by 3. And then I'll connect those blues together. And that's kind of the shape that we have right now. It's not perfect, but it will do the job. We can start with the rows, I guess, above that. Yeah, sure. Take the rows of 3 blue at the front where we ended up breaking that 1 yellow. And above the back of this row of 3, I will extend this blue up 1 on either side. Which is basically the It's the back of the hat brim. I'll extend those blues there back 1. And then I'll go back diagonally out by 1 and back 4. Then go back diagonally in by 2 and back 1. Back diagonally in by 2 and once again connect together. Cool. Next row up, if you start from the front, and again, we're taking the brim of the hat. It'd be this row of 2. It's just in line with where you should have nothing else. Ignore the smooth quartz. And take the backmost blue and extend it back diagonally out with 2 blue, which will end you on top of the previous row, this back more block of this row 2. Sorry, I'm stumbling my words a bit here. Like so. You'll then extend that back more 1 back, an additional 1. And then go back diagonally out and back. Then go back diagonally in and back. And then repeat that again, back diagonally in and back. You'll then go back diagonally in by 2 and in 1. Back diagonally in 1, connect the blues together. Next row up, you're taking... Where are we taking? That's a really good question. You're in line with it'd be the top of the hat brim, although the lowest portion of the top, because that makes sense. This area that is 6 wide. I will... If you have smooth quartz behind it as I do, this will make your life easier. I don't know if you will or not. But just the row behind it, you would kind of come out of the sides with 2 blue like this. As you can see. So we are still following the hat brim shape, funnily enough. Like so. From the edges there, anyway, I'll go back diagonally out by 2 and back by 4. I'll then go back diagonally in by 2 and back 1. Back diagonally in 1 and connect together from there. On the fronts, we're going to ignore the big top logo. We'll add it in later. These rows of 2 where we would have placed to start the previous row, you'll bring them each up with blue and then connect together over the top, which is the middle 6. From the edges of that row, I'll extend back diagonally out by 1 and back 1. Back diagonally out 1 again and back 1. Back diagonally in 1 and back 1. Back diagonally in by 2 and back 1. Then you will go in by 1 from there. Back diagonally in and connect together. Cool. On the front, this mostly flat row, the middle 6 blue, you'll extend up an additional 1 each to start this next one. I'll extend back by 1 from these sides, and then I'll go out by 2. I'll then go back by 2, out 1, back 1, in 1, and from that inner block I'll go back an additional 2, then back diagonally in by 3, and I'll connect those blues together. One quick adjustment we do have to make here. In the front, you have these corners, pretty much these right angles. You'll place a blue concrete at the front of them like so, which leaves you with a fairly circular shape, which I'm actually going to tell you to just a block above the shape you have, fill it in with blue concrete. And I believe it is a perfect circle. Yes, it is. Nice. Cool. And then if you leave about 2 blocks off either side, or off each side, you can place a 4x4 square of blue concrete on top of that, sticking up another row. And that gives you at least the top of the hat. You know, actually, that looks like a pretty solid hat, even without the angling that we have to do. Anyway, let's get the logo out of the way real quick since we're kind of in this area. At the front of the hat, if you're looking, you have the brim here that sticks out. This portion, the 6 block area that is 2 blocks tall, I want to break the middle 4 blue on both rows like this. Place yellow concrete at the leftmost block, and then right of that a row of red, another row of yellow, and then another row of red. The middle red and yellow is you'll bring... It is up an additional block, but you are diagonally back with that, like so. Off the yellow and red stripes, I'll place pale oak fence gates off either with the ones off the yellows opened, like so. Also, I'm now thinking about it, I really wish I did the one from episode 9 instead of this version, because they both are softball. That would have been a lot cooler, but whatever. Too late now. Take the sides of the bottom now, and we're going to start working our way down. You have this yellow on the front that you will actually break and replace with a blue on both sides to start the next row. Extend those back 1 each. Back diagonally out with a blue. Back 3. Back diagonally in by 2 and back 1. Back diagonally in by 2 and in 1. Back diagonally... Actually, you'll go in again first, sorry, and then you'll go back diagonally in and connect, which should be 4 in the center. My bad. The next row down, you can actually break this yellow on the front. We're not going to replace it, just break it. Because you're on this portion, which is the row of 4 blue, each of the back 3 you'll extend down with an additional blue. You will then extend back diagonally in 1 and back 1. Back diagonally in by 3 and in 1. Back diagonally in by 1 and connect together. The next row, you will ignore this row of what is 3 at the start, and the next row back, you'll take this row of 2 and extend either of those blues down by 1 again. From there, you will just copy the previous row entirely on this back portion. And I think the next one's the same, although it starts further back again. So yeah, this next one, you will start... Not at the first one diagonal, but it is the second one back. You'll bring down with a blue, and then everything behind that as well. Like so. We do have to fix up the terraforming, or the shaping of her head on the back here, just so the hat works better. First off, where you have the yellow concrete, just remove all of the rest of it. And... we can make sure that we are at the correct point here. This bottom row of smooth quartz, I'll extend back an additional 1, so it sticks 3 beyond this yellow. And then these side smooth quartz I'll bring back by 1 each. In line with this row of, it'd be the row of 6, you'll go up, you'll have a smooth quartz up diagonally out already most likely. So from those ones, you'll go out an additional 1. And then up diagonally out by 2. And if you do need to take this top one and just extend forward with the smooth quartz, you can. We will probably fix up more of this if we need to after this part. There's still more we can do though. From this row of 4 smooth quartz, I'll extend it up diagonally out in either direction by 1 and then out 1. From there, up diagonally out by 3 on either side. From these rows of 2 smooth quartz that were from the previous row, you'll take the inner smooth quartzes and extend them back by 1 each and connect together. From those rows, I'll just go up diagonally out by 3. And then from this middle row of 6, the back 4, I'll extend each one back with an additional smooth quartz. Go up diagonally out by 2, and out 1 from there. And then the middle 4 smooth quartz at the bottom, each ones of them I'll extend up diagonally back by 1, and then I'll go up diagonally out from the sides of that row. And I can actually check if we need to do anything. Yes, this part, I think. Yeah, so you have this row of 2 smooth quartz towards the front, like this. I'm going to end up extending it back with 2 more rows, and then those back 2, I'll extend each smooth quartz down an additional 1, like so. And I might place a smooth quartz there, although you don't need that. That's just because it's bothering me. So again, on the other side, this smooth quartz, the outermost portion of the smooth quartz head, I will have each one brought back by, or down, yeah, back by 2 and then down by 1 from each of those back 2, like so. Okay. For the hair, again, we're doing this symmetrically, so be ready. Take the frontmost portion, and this, like, this plank I'll place a plank outside of, and then back diagonally out from that I'll have 2 more planks going over. So this N1 will stick out. I'll have a slab on top of that end plank, and then I will do a couple things. I'll bring the bottom plank back with 2 planks, and then 4 upside down slabs to start. And then on the other side, 2 planks back, 4 upside down slabs. And then behind this slab here that we have, I'm going to take the plank behind it and extend up with 4 planks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll then go up diagonally in by 1 and up 2, which will connect you into the hat. Please note in front of that top plank you'll have a slab, and you will want to replace it with a dark oak stair that faces out. So you will need to grab one of those guys out, like so. Next row back off of this plank, you're going up with, is it 6 planks? Yeah, 6 planks, and then a dark oak stair facing out. And then the next row back, this upside down slab, you'll just bring all the way up with planks. The next 2 back, each will extend up with 5 planks, and then a dark oak stair facing out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stair. And then this final slab, I'll start by extending up with 2 planks on either side. I'll then go up diagonally in with a plank, and up 2. Is that? Yeah, okay, that is what I did. I looked away for a second, of course. I think I want to start by doing that. So yeah, take this backmost upside down dark oak slab on either side and extend it in with a plank. Extend those planks each back by 2. And then I will place a plank inside of that with an upside down slab below it. I'll extend that upside down slab back diagonally in by 2 and then in 1 from there. I'll then go back diagonally in with upside down slabs again that can connect together. Just because I find it better, this plank that we placed to kind of start this outline, this first one, you can bring up by 2, which will connect it into this previous area to just give you a more flat edge. The next plank back, anyway, this one, you'll extend up with 4 planks and then a stair facing outward, which is going to be left or right. The next plank back, you're just extending up by 1. That's it. And then the plank inside of that, you're extending all the way up until you connect into the blue. The next thing back, this upside down slab, you are doing the same with, right? Hold on, yes, you are just bringing it up until it connects with dark oak planks, which is 5 planks up. The next slab you're extending up with 4 planks and then a dark oak stair facing back. The next one in, you're just extending up with the 5 planks again. And then on this back row, you'll take these side ones and extend each one up with 4 planks and a stair facing back. Copy those rows inside of themselves one more time, and then fill in the middle with planks. We are not quite done, though. From this backmost portion of the hair, you want to take this bottom row of upside down slabs, and ignore it completely. The row of planks above it, you'll extend out on these sides an additional 1. Plank on top of either of those with a slab on top from there. From the next diagonal portion out, which would be from the bottom, you find this row of 2 upside down slabs. Again, you're taking the block above the outermost slab and extending it out with a plank. And then from there you could go, it'd be 4 diagonally out with another plank that is placed here. And this one you want a slab on top of. So I can kind of show you, it gives you this fun little half a block decline on a diagonal angle, or incline depending on which way you look at it. But that is her hair done, and her head done, I suppose, entirely, I believe, unless there's something else. As a side note, as I prepare for the next part, I was going to put her eyebrows above the hat, but because of the way the hat is, like, the brim is up, it just wouldn't work because you wouldn't see it very well. But you can actually leave your inventory as is, and remove, for her blue-handed arm, the one that is holding the pom-pom, you can remove the hand, and I'll remove the arm up to basically where the yellow is. I will stop, I think, like, flush with the yellow like that. So I have this kind of weird box going. And if I'm looking at this from the side, I believe I can, what can I do? I can break this back row of smooth quartz like this, the back bottom row. And from this front row of yellow, I'll come down with 3 smooth quartz. And I'll actually take another row of smooth quartz off the back of each row. So I'll take the top row, I'll shave it thinner row, and I'll also shave the bottom. So you have this kind of weird shape going. And you want to copy that on the other arm, so you have this exact setup. So you can remove her arm entirely, first off, all the smooth quartz. Since this yellow is aligned differently as of right now, although we do want to make sure it lines up. So once again, as you're removing the hand, make sure you remove the correct blocks on the corner here of the ball joint for her leg, which is really just the corner row like that. Anyway, should have this. I'm just taking the yellow off, to be honest, entirely. And I'm going to place on the front of the shoulder joint here, I'll place yellow concrete off the underside of the blue. And then underneath these corner reds, I'll place a yellow on either side that I'll extend back 1, and then back diagonally in to connect. In the middle of this, really off of each of these concretes, I'll extend down with 2 smooth quartz per block, which extends 1 lower than the yellow from these sides, or it's 2 lower from this front row. That front row of smooth quartz I'll bring down again, and then this front yellow I can bring down with 3 smooth quartz each. And you can check and confirm that should give you both arms being the same. Nice. On the front of the smooth quartz, the top row you are leaving open, or doing nothing with. The middle row you'll extend forward an additional 1, and the bottom row you will extend forward an additional 3. Each of those 3 smooth quartz you just added on the front, you'll extend down an additional 1. So you're placing a pretty much a 2x3 below either arm, like so. The bottom front inner corner smooth quartz you'll extend down by 1, and then extend that bottom smooth quartz forward 1. I'll then extend either of those bottom ones in by, I suppose, 2 each. And then I will place smooth quartz on top of every single block. Around the inner row, I'll place yellow concrete off each side of the smooth quartz, still on both arms, like this, and it will give you this result, as you can see. On the left side, I'm going to place one red concrete off of each top, or the bottom and top yellows like this, and then I will join them together like so. On the right, I'll do the same, but with blue concrete. The top back concrete, I'll extend in by one. So on the right, you're going left with a blue, and on the left, you're going right with a red. On the front row of the concretes, leave the top one alone, but the next one down, you will extend in by 4 on either side. And these should connect, theoretically, like so. The next row down, I'll go 2 in from either side with the correct concrete, and then I'll go back diagonally in 1. And the bottom row, I'll go in by 1 from either side and back diagonally in 1, like so. And her legs do not change, so that is the softball Pomni from episode 5 done, since I suppose there are 2 different versions of her. Wish I did the other one, but too late now. Alright, so next is Evil Pomni. So you know the drill, you need the structure block out, or you need to grab it out, and if you place it down, open it up, and press the load mode, and then type in the structure file you named for her, which is just going to be Pomni. You'll load that bad boy in, and you should have this. This one is going to be mostly slash filling, so it's not going to take that long. I want you to grab out red, yellow, and blue concrete, and this is kind of a visual thing. I'm going to grab magenta glazed terracotta, and I want to place it on the ground so the arrow is pointing right, like that. And I'll actually place 2 more on top that are the same. So on the left side, I'll just place red, yellow, blue going up like that. So for this version, every single red concrete that you have there wants to now become a yellow concrete. Every yellow wants to become a blue, and every blue wants to become a red. So I placed this because I want you to just kind of have this visualization. So on the left is what you have originally, and on the right is what you will have. And I think this actually also shows the same from the back, which is kind of nice. So as you're doing this, you can. I'm going to show you how to slash fill this as conveniently as possible. Now, here's the fun thing. This Pomni is larger than a structure, or larger than the fill limit. So I'm going to ignore these shoes, I think, and I'm going to I'll just take the front right corner where I have this block, and I will fly up until I'm like about here, and I will copy this coordinate. I'll use Control-Alt-C, although again, you can do whatever. And then I will head to the back left, and I'll fly up until I am about in line with the top of her hat. I want to at least be that high. Preferably a little higher, just to make sure. In the chat, you will type /fill, copy that coordinate in, tilde, tilde, tilde for your current coordinate, and I'm going to start by doing oak underscore planks, replace red underscore concrete like this. And I still have too many blocks. Can I make this work? I cannot. That's unfortunate. I'm going to try to make this higher. So -40. If you have this, you'll just have to make the y coordinate less. You might end up with issues where you're not taking everything, but that's fine. We'll get most of it, and then we'll probably have to do it in half. Or alternatively, if you went in the middle like I did, you can just fly all the way down and pop that same command in again, and it'll give you this. I know it looks weird, trust the process. You're then going to, I'm going to look over my cheat sheet. I'm going to, in the chat, I'll get rid of the oak replace red part, and I will do red underscore concrete replace blue underscore concrete. And I will enter that in, and again, I'll have to do this in 2 sections, because it's just how it's going to go, I guess. And boom. Okay, I'm too high. Okay, I'm still too high. Yeah, no, that's fine. And then next up, I will do yellow underscore... Will I? No. Just kidding. I'll do blue underscore concrete replace yellow underscore concrete. And I have this top one. You see this blue is here. I'm going to have to replace that manually with a red, which is kind of lame, but oh well. And I'll fly all the way down and do the same thing. Like this. And then you need one more. You need to do yellow underscore concrete replace oak underscore planks, if I could type this correctly. And when I do this, you see it will replace all of the oak that we did with the yellow, and that will give you the correct color scheme for this Pomni. And if I look, yes, now the eyes we'll have to fix, but we'll deal with that in a second. But this is what you should have. This is the color scheme you should have. The eyes look so cool like that, actually. I do really like how that looks. Kind of wish they kept it. But anyway. I think I want to start with, well, fixing the eyes, but also doing her arm positions. Get out smooth quartz blocks, blue concrete, red concrete, black concrete, and we can at least get the mouth started. So smooth quartz slabs, smooth quartz stairs, pale oak planks, and pale oak slabs. First off, I think I do want to fix her eyes. So, because they're bothering me. You're replacing the yellow here with red and the blue with, or the red with blue. So the top left of each eye is a red concrete, the top right is a blue, bottom right is a red, and bottom left is a blue, like that. We'll come back to the fist later, though. I just wanted to get that sorted. So, I want you to remove her arm that is holding the pom-pom, the red hand, in this particular instance, and remove the arm in its entirety, and also the blue concrete, like this part, the blue little band. Although, leave the shoulder in. From this point, I'm going to, if you don't have blocks filled in the center, I'm just going to place smooth quartz for the purpose. And I will fill the left of this center, just place blue concrete under it. I'll take these red corners on the right sides and place blues here that I'll extend left by 1 to connect diagonally into this. And then on the right side under this yellow, I'll place blue as well. Like so. Extend down in the center of this with 3 smooth quartz per block, like so. And then I will extend the right half of that down with an additional 2 smooth quartz, each extended right by 1. Repeat that again, the right row I'll extend down an additional 2 with each brought to the right by 1 each. And then I will start inverting that. I'll take the left half and extend 2 smooth quartz down with 1 left of each. And I will do that one more time to the left. From this bottom 2x2, I want to place blue concrete directly off the left of the top smooth quartz out of those 2 rows. I'll also place blue in front of the bottom row and also behind the bottom row, like that. We'll place the other blue when we can get there reasonably with just building the hand. But I will bring the blue on the far left down with 3 red each, maybe? Yeah, just go 4 down. And then from there, I'll go down diagonally right with red from that row of 2. Of the row of 4, kind of note where these are being placed, because the bottom 3 red you'll extend right by 1, or forward by 1 each, sorry. And it will connect into the leg joint, but just kind of remember, because of that row of 3, the bottom and top reds you'll each extend right. You can start with the top and bring it right 1, and the way you would know where the bottom is it's just a gap of 1 away. Off the back of the hand, the middle 2 red of the row of 4, you'll extend back by 1 each, and that's all. Underneath the smooth quartz here, this 2x2, you'll place one red under each, and then I will place blue to the right of the red there, and that is her hand. Little scuffed, but I did not enjoy doing that pose very much, so, you know. You also need polished blackstone slabs, forgot about those. I want you to head back to the face and remove her eyebrows, again. Above the innermost black concrete, I'll place a polished blackstone slab here, and I would extend it up diagonally out by 2 for either eye to give you this look. And she's mad. Wow, I don't like that. Mad Pomni's scary. The outer row of white on each eye, I will replace the top one with a black concrete. And now she looks sad and mad at the same time. Okay. Now, Evil Pomni doesn't have the blush. So I would replace the pink terracotta with smooth quartz. She's technically supposed to, because I know the merch items do, but in the actual episode it doesn't exist, so I went for that rather than the merch, because even though it was unintentional, it still was how it was. I'm going to, underneath the eyes, take the outermost black concretes, and I will count down 1 and then in 1, and break this smooth quartz on either side, which alternatively was where the inner pink terracotta was. I will break all the blocks between them, and also a full row down, which I will break the white concrete behind the mouth that is included in this. I'll place in either top corner an upside down smooth quartz stair facing in, and then I will actually connect those together with upside down slabs. Below the upside down stairs, I'll place regular stairs facing in like this. And then don't place anything between them. Take the row of smooth quartz below, and you will replace the middle 4 smooth quartz blocks with smooth quartz slabs. Like so. And now she looks happy. Place behind each slab, upside down slab, or stair a pale oak plank. So this row of 4 slabs at the bottom, I'll have a pale oak plank behind each. Behind these stairs on these sides, I'll have pale oak planks, and then behind the upside down slabs at the top as well, giving you this. The planks behind these bottom stairs, I will extend in with slabs. Then inside of those, you'll have upside down slabs, which are half a block up, and then in the center 2 blocks, you'll place regular pale oak slabs like so. Figure out a way to fill behind this with black concrete. If you have to break through her head or just do whatever, do it. I'll break through, fill that just 1 row of black concrete behind, and then repair the damage. And as far as I recall, that is Evil Pomni done. I didn't actually give her baseball glove, because I don't feel like she had it in the intro scene, and I just completely forgot it existed at all. Wow, that's impressive. Good job, man. But anyway, that is 6 of the 8 Pomnis done. We just have Beach and the running the show one. Alright, next up will be Beach Pomni. So you can probably figure out where you're starting this with, getting at a structure block, opening it, load mode, and you're typing in the structure file and loading in your Pomni. For like the 17,000th time. Anyway, yeah, that's that. So this one will start fairly similar to the previous ones. There is I think 1 or 2 things that do change though. So I want to start by taking off her yellow concrete collar or cuff or whatever you want to, I guess it's collar on her neck. Just removing it all, cutting her head clean off for like the 18th time. You then want to take her shoulders and arms off in their entirety as well. And this is the same way that we did it for the other ones. You don't necessarily need to worry about the concretes being correct on the inner edge. It just bothers me, so I'm gonna make them correct. But you just want to make sure that it's kind of flush like that, where you have on the shoulder, you would have this middle row of 6, then you'd have a row of 2 diagonally down, and then 1 down from there, which is where you were cutting it off. It technically is part of the shoulder joint that you are keeping, I think? No, you're not, because the shoulder joint is the top 2. I can show you on the other side. You see how this is a blue concrete, and then over here, you know, it's blue on red on this side, and then it would have been red on blue, so you're just taking the top 2 rows of that off. That makes more sense. It only took me 7 of these to figure that one out, I guess. But, you know, it's better than never figuring it out, I suppose. Although, I don't think it's... No, it is useful for the last one, never mind. Because the last one also doesn't have arms. That's just not true. That's literally as false as it could be. But either way. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, careful of doing what I just did. It's, on a scale of 1 to 10, that's a bad thing. Explain to Daddy Bubble how bad thing. That line and the beach party line being back-to-back is insane, I have to say. Like, probably 2 of Bubble's funniest lines, at least in my opinion. You should have this, anyway. We're doing the same thing again with her waist, where you're taking the outermost portion of the concretes here, or just alternatively in line with this top yellow, and you're slicing her legs off there. And then you can break the red, blue, and yellow concretes here, but do leave the smooth courts for the legs in this time. And we're actually going to start, once we're done dismantling her, with the legs. And I think we're going to work our way up instead of how we have been doing, where we started from the top and went down. Because I feel like it's easier, although we're gonna do with the shoes and feet, and then we're going to do the body and then the pants, because I don't feel like counting the smooth courts to figure out where the pants are supposed to start, honestly. Well, I guess they're swim trunks, but close enough. Pants, technically... Swim trunks fall under pants, do they not? I mean, you wouldn't just wear them as pants, normally, I suppose. But they're in that pant realm of stuff, anyway. You should have this. Oh, that's so weird. The other thing we can remove are her yellow pom-pom balls on the front of her chest. Do leave the ones on the hat, obviously, because those don't change. Does her face change on this one? No, okay. That's cool. We're starting from the bottom, and the first thing I'm going to have you do is remove these yellow concrete cuffs around her ankles. Just get rid of all of the yellow. If you might have smooth courts in the middle, you might have yellow. Don't worry about it either way. I'll make sure that we get that corrected in a second. Again, I do apologize for the inconsistencies with some of these. I should have taken the tutorial version, but of course I don't have it, so I just had to take the original. So, if you need to, the smooth courts you will just bring all the way down. I'm going to bring it, for the all-intensive purposes, down to the ground, although you don't need to bring it that far down. You just have to make sure that it tucks into the shoe from the back, really. Or, alternatively, here, I already have blue placed at the top, so I can just connect down into that blue, like so. This row of concrete at the front of the top, you will extend back, just so it connects into the bottom row of smooth courts like that. And that's kind of the shoe shape. Doesn't change at all, it's just the fact that the color doesn't exist, so, or the cuff, I mean. Replace all the red and blue concrete here with cyan concrete. Once again, I'm going to slash fill this, so I'll take behind, or to the right of the back right of the red shoe. I'll copy this coordinate, and then I'll go to the front left. Make sure I'm high enough. You can be as far out as you want, it really doesn't matter, because you will type slash fill, copy that other coordinate in, or paste it, my bad, I always say copy. Tilde, 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 cyan underscore concrete, replace red underscore concrete, and then the same, but with replace blue underscore concrete. And that gives you her nice shoes. The next thing we actually can do is replacing her body with smooth courts, the same way we just did the shoes. So I want to make sure that I'm far enough out on both the front and the whatever side, so I'll be in this front, right? You can actually just tuck yourself right in here. And copy this coordinate, and do the same with the back left, although I will make sure I fly up until I am about here. I want to make sure I don't go too high, because you don't want to take any of the hat, although you've got a good amount of leeway between those two. And then same thing, slash fill, paste the coordinate in, I said it right. Tilde, 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 there's something in my eye. Smooth underscore courts. That is not courts. Replace blue underscore concrete, and then also replace red underscore concrete. And that should give you the... Good grief, she's naked. Anyway, get out the following. You need cyan concrete, smooth quartz, levers, pale oak fence, white wool, orange wool, and yellow wool. Okay, starting from the head, the bottom of the head, we're gonna, I guess, go from the top down at this point. I just, you know, whatever, we're just kind of bouncing back and forth, or whatever you would call that, pinballing. Take the front row of 4 smooth quartz on this lowest portion of the head, and it's the same thing we've done. The middle 2 of the row behind it, you'll extend down with smooth quartz to the bottom. You actually only need another row back from that is the same, just extending 1 additional off the left and right from that back row. The back side of the neck is covered by the towel that she's holding here, so yeah, you don't have to add the towel, just make sure you do adjust the neck properly. Taking the smooth quartz of the body, this top row, if you're in it, doesn't matter which block necessarily, just make sure you're highlighting it. You want to count down by 3, not including this one. So this would be number 0, technically. 1, 2, 3, and just pick the smooth quartz you're highlighting and replace it with a cyan concrete. Gap of 1 below, again, gap of 1 below, again, like this. So you have these 3 dots of cyan. And these will wrap all the way around the body like this, just giving some stripes. I'm confused by this because I would assume that these stripes would mean that it's a shirt, but it looks the same color as her, like, arms and stuff, so I'm a little confused as to whether or not it is a shirt or if there's just stripes painted on her body for some reason. But either way, not that that's important, I just figured I'd yap about my findings during the process of building these, the jester... What word starts with a J? The jester group, except that starts with a G, but we're gonna pretend that it's correct. You should end up with this anyway. Okay, for her... We're gonna wait on her arms, actually, because the one holds the towel, and I just don't feel like doing that yet. Underneath the bottom of the body, I'm going to actually take these rows of 2 on the left and right and place cyan concrete directly underneath them that extends forward and backward an additional 1, giving you a row of 4. I'll connect the end cyans together like this. And then, with the exceptions... Okay, well, actually, first off, my bad. You want to place an additional row of cyan off the front and back, so it sticks, like, out from the body on each side by 1, except for the right and left, where it's in line with these rows of 2. And then, every block except for the corners, you're bringing down with, I'll just say 2 cyan concrete for now. The corners you're leaving as is. My bad, I looked at it and was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that, and then I forgot to correctly do that, so there's that, I suppose. You should have this. You will place the next row of cyan below that, or just, I guess, place more cyan under all of that, and you are including the corners this time, like this. Cool. At the front and back, I will take the corner cyans and extend them down by 6. Again, each of the 4 corners. Extend those rows of 6 in an additional 3, which will be left or right. As long as you're still under cyan, you're probably correct, and as long as you're not connecting to the other side, you're also probably correct. And that's going to be my explanation for that. I will, from this point, I want to make sure this is symmetrical. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong side anyway, that's crazy. But place a row of cyan at the top, at the front and back like this, between the pant legs. And then I'll place an additional cyan in the top corners on, again, both the front and back. It doesn't necessarily matter which side you're on, just make sure you're looking towards the pants. And take the cyan on this side and just inside of this open sort of arch shape, you're going to go back diagonally in with cyan concrete. That follows the shape pretty closely. But again, it is diagonally in like that. And then you'll extend it, what, 3 blocks back to connect to the other side of the pants. Whether that be the front you're connecting to or the back, it doesn't really matter. Like so. On the outside of the pant legs, I'll go diagonally out and connect together with cyan like that. So if I'm taking the front, I'll go back diagonally out 1 and back 3. Pretty nice. Place 5 additional rows on top of that, which should actually fill in the gap you would have on the sides, although we're not done for 2 reasons. Just to make it shaped better, I will actually take this top row of cyan and the middle 2 I will bring up like this. I'm going to forget it. Actually, no, I'm not, because I've been thinking about it the entire time we've been doing this. On the underside of the... how do I keep finding mistakes? Whatever. On the underside of the pant legs, you can do whatever you want with this. I took the second cyan up and just placed 1 in each corner like this. I know that doesn't fill in the gap, but trust the process, and we're getting there. A block up from that, I will join kind of between those cyans with more cyan to connect everything. And if you do need to bring the smooth quartz up for that, you can. I actually have mine at the exact height that I needed, so that's cool for me. Like so. Make sure you're on the front now. If you see her face when you look up, you're in the correct spot. And I want you to take the middle of the pants. I'm on the wrong side, that's great. If you find the middle 2 blocks, you basically want to leave those 2 open, and the next block out on either side, you'll place a lever. So I'm just going to place 2 levers that have a gap of 2 between them, and then I will count on either side, and I see I have 5 cyan open on the left, 5 cyan open on the right, so I'm correct. I normally am with those, which is nice. You want to power each of those levers on, and then below each of them, you will actually go down with 5 pale oak fence for the drawstring. Like so. I suppose we can give her arms, finally. We'll start with the less interesting one, which is going to be the right, which is her left arm. So this side. And if you've been following these, you can probably assume the start. If you take maybe the middle row of smooth quartz, technically this one right here. Take the center 2 blocks and extend each of them out with 3 smooth quartz. Row below, you'll do the same. 3 smooth quartz out per block. And then this rightmost 2x2, I'll extend down with 8 smooth quartz per block. Like so. The front right smooth quartz specifically, you will extend down by also 8. And then I'll place a row in front of that row of 8 and 1 row right of either of those 2 rows. Nice. Underneath the right side, I'll go down with more smooth quartz that will extend forward a block and also backward a block, like so. Each of the back 3 smooth quartzes can extend right 1 each. And then I'll take the backmost one there and extend down, and then down diagonally left. The next smooth quartz forward, I'll extend down 3, and then down diagonally left. And then this front one, I'll extend down 2, and then down diagonally left 1, like so. Take the top smooth quartz here, and extend this guy both down 1 and that same one to the left. And that is her 1 arm complete. The other one's a little bit more complicated, but even then it's not bad. We'll start the same with the shoulder coming out from the middle 2 smooth quartz of this row with 3 blocks each. And same with the row under, giving you this rounded shoulder. The endmost 2x2 or the leftmost 2x2, each block will extend down with 4 smooth quartz. The left row, or the leftmost rows, these 2, I can extend each of them down by 5. Although the front row I'll extend down 1 more, and then all those blocks you just placed can extend left 1 each, like that. The bottom 2x2, each block of it, I'll extend forward with 3 smooth courts like so. The rightmost row I'll extend forward again. Right a row. Right another row, because I can't count, and then the top one I'll extend right 1 more time. Of this bottom row, this row of 3, the middle smooth course I can extend down, and from it I'll go back diagonally left 1. And she probably needs a thumb, huh? Yeah. Behind this flat portion of the hand going across the leftmost row, I'll bring this smooth course up, then I'll go back, and then right, like so. My bad. I don't know, this always happens, I swear. Take the neck now, and you want to... We're going to start the towel. Take the outer row, this row of 4 smooth courts, and place a white wool on the outside of each one that extends forward too. I'll then go down diagonally forward with a white wool. This will all be white, actually. You'll then go forward diagonally out. Or, no, down diagonally out. Sorry, not forward. I can't. Just, wow. Extend down by 4 from there. Then for real this time, you're going down diagonally out and forward. So it's, if you place a block down diagonally forward, you would place another one outside of that and break the original. And then I'll go down by 8 from there. And then place a yellow wool. Whoopsies. Before we get too carried away, I do want to direct our attention back to the top, because I want to connect this row, and I think that'll make our life a bit easier. Extend an orange wool behind the back white, and then I'll go back diagonally in with a white wool on either side that I'll actually place smooth courts in the middle of, because that is, for some reason, staying consistent on all of these. The neck overhanging. Head back to the front and take these yellow wools and extend them out by 1 on either side. We're going to have to kind of deal with the hand as we do this part, so just be aware of that. But you'll take those outermost yellow wools and extend up diagonally out by 1 and then out again. Extend that outermost yellow wool up by 8 with white wool. And then I'll go up diagonally in. Then up diagonally back, and up 2. Up diagonally back again, which will connect into the shoulder. And then it'd be up diagonally back and in 1. So if you counted in 1 from that wool, you'd have this smooth courts behind that you'll place a white wool on top of. Extend those white wools back by 1 on either side. Then go back diagonally in 1. Then back diagonally in and down 1. So if you take the smooth courts below that white wool you just placed, I'll count in by 1 and place a white wool behind that one. And then you can bring these towards each other, which is down diagonally in, and then if you go down diagonally in again, they'll connect. For the most part, you're just kind of filling in the area between the 2 rows of white wool with orange. Now, if you start from the front with the yellow, I can kind of tell you where parts might be weird. So you can fill up flush until, you know, both white wools go diagonally over. Like this. And then for this next one, if you have a situation where they're a block off, it's 1 orange in from either white wool. Which I suppose you could do it that way for most of it. Just bring 1 orange wool inside of each white, like this. So if I do this... And then it would be like this. And kind of for the top of the shoulder, you're just coating whatever you need to with orange wool, so you can't see smooth courts on the top. You will actually cover white as you do this. These 2 white will just disappear, but that is fine. And then as you reach the back here, I think it's just pretty much connecting. Yeah, so I'll have orange just connecting, or covering all the smooth quartz there. And again, if you want to see one side, you can just mirror it on the other, and I'll show you kind of more slowly what's going on here. But you really are just covering any blocks that are in your way. Like this. I will actually tell you to make one adjustment on the back in a second, which is underneath these smooth quartz, you should have white wool there instead of orange. I forgot to place that, my bad. But, yeah, there is Beach Pomni. 22 minutes, not terrible. If you want to change her facial expression, you can. I just didn't really know what to do. You could do, like, her eyes closed or something, or one eye closed, one open, as she kind of does in the scene when she's holding the towel. Part of me feels like this is going to be the most annoying one, but anyway, it's time for, I think she's called Can Pomni, which is it's the one from the Running the Show dance. So, you know the drill, structure block, load mode, Pomni, the way we've done like 80,000 times, and you'll load in that Pomni. So, I want to check, because for some reason I feel like her legs were closer together. No, they are not, so we are good on that regard. The first thing I am going to have you do is remove her shoes, and pretty much if the legs go, like, inside of the shoes at all, you can just take the smooth quartz off. I think it'll make it better when we actually bring the smooth quartz down to have the same result for both of us as to how low that goes. And if you end up having dirt like this, you should probably replace it with grass, since her one shoe doesn't actually touch the ground. And, well, it's like a high heel, kind of. And the other one is in the air, she's kicking forward, so. Yeah, make sure you have room for that. I don't know if I mentioned anything about needing extra space on the sides. My bad if I didn't, but make sure you have like an extra 15, 20 blocks in front of her that you can build something into. Anyway, you should have this. That is so cursed. So, for the purpose of this, we're going to do the same thing we've done a lot, which is take off her yellow concrete collar and also her arms. Because we don't need arms here. This is an armless build. That's not true. And again, you're going to take off the arms and I will fix the concretes, even though it doesn't matter. I'm very picky with it for some reason. I don't know. Even in situations where she has... The only red and blue on this one is the obvious stuff, being her hat and eyes. This one... I think I mentioned this in a previous one, but one thing about the way that I made this Pomni I dislike is the fact that she doesn't have much variation you can do in her eyes without it looking weird. So this one, I try to go for one block pupils to kind of mimic the look she has of just pure concern here, and I did. You all can be the judge if you think it looks weird, because I don't think it looks perfect. I definitely think, whoopsies, I definitely think it could look better. But I left it because I wanted to make them all a little different, at least in the face. And, you know, but I would honestly play around with changing the eyelids and stuff as much as you want. The eyelids and the pupils. You can't really go larger than a 2x2, unfortunately, because the way the pinwheel works on her actual eyes just is not good for that. I think it has 6 patterns, and if you try to, like, mimic that with a 4x4, it just doesn't work. But anyway, you should have this, or even a 3x3. You can also remove her pom-poms on the front. And I think that's all of the dismantling for this one. Well, no, that's not true. Okay, this part is weird. We're removing the leg ball joints. However, be careful with this, because you see this yellow concrete that you have? You want to do 2 things. You want to, A, keep it there, and B, you want to make sure that it kind of stays flat where it is. So what I mean by that is when you break everything, like, below the yellow line, that's basically what you're doing. You're breaking below the line. You want to make sure that the point where the yellow sticks out, you actually want to pull those yellows in. So essentially, you can see I have this once I've removed that. I suppose I'll fix her leg. These 2 yellows that are sticking the furthest out, you will push in a block so it's more flush like that. And then I can show you again on this one, basically breaking everything below the yellow line. And then making sure that the yellow line itself is also flat. I done broke her legs again. That's unfortunate. That... what a casual way to say that. Oops, I accidentally broke her legs. Just, you know. It's perfect. Anyway, you should have this. Don't really worry about, like... Because I have it connecting, you see on the one side there. So don't worry about that necessarily, because it won't actually matter. Okay. All of the concrete on her body wants to be replaced with everybody's favorite block of raw gold. I'm going to do the concrete or the yellow by hand here since it's so few blocks. And I'm just going to break the middle ones because I don't really feel a need to have them. But yeah, I guess I'll replace those on the underside. Sure, why not? But we're replacing all of it with gold, and then we'll go back through and we will fix up mainly her, like, shoulders. Needs a little bit of work, and this is the same thing where you're taking the opposite corners and you're doing the funny slash fill raw gold block, replace red underscore concrete, or replace blue underscore concrete. I guess it'd be and, not or, but whatever. Either way, you should have this. So, you need raw gold, what? Raw gold and smooth quartz blocks for this next little part. And what we're going to do is take these spots on the side where you have, it's these 2x2s of gold, where normally we would only have one row visible, but, you know, we have the second one here. Down diagonally in, you're connecting these golds together there, as you can see, which basically just thins the body out again. And then underneath that row of 4, you'll go down from each block with 3 smooth quartz. 1, 2, 3, like this. The middle 2 smooth quartz specifically I will bring down. And does this mean that her legs are shifted in? Was I actually correct? Maybe I am. Yeah, okay. So they do have to get shifted in. My bad. So you actually can just remove her legs entirely. I miscounted, evidently. I knew I did it on one of them. And I should have used the process of elimination to figure out it was this one. But anyway, since it is the last one I'm doing. Each of these smooth quartz, I'm going to connect into the gold, however that will be. 1 block, 2 blocks, or 3 blocks, I think, are the numbers at most you'll need per row. Like so. I will take this row of 4 gold at the bottom center at the front and back and place 3 smooth quartz out from it on either side, which just leaves the corners open on each of the 4 corners. So from the underside, she looks like this right now. Little strange, but it is okay. Head back up, and the top 2 rows of her body, you are replacing the raw gold fully with smooth quartz. We'll have to replace a lot more than this, but for now we'll just do the top 2 rows. And we'll work down row at a time and just kind of deal with it. Or I'll probably actually give you the outline for the smooth quartz next, and then we will fill between the 2 areas of smooth quartz with also smooth quartz. Hopefully that makes sense. This one shouldn't be too long. I already feel like we're mostly there, other than the fact she has no limbs. In the dead center, I'm going to break the center 4 gold and replace them with smooth quartz. I'll go down another row with just the middle 2. And you can, if you back up a little bit, you can tell if it's off. If it's off by a block, you will 100% notice. Okay. From the row of 4 smooth quartz at the top here, I will leave 2 gold out on either side, and then the end 2 gold on the left and right will be replaced with smooth quartz. The outermost smooth quartz you'll bring down 1. And then if you look towards these sides, that bottom one, you will extend... It's technically down diagonally back by 3. Now, you're breaking the gold when you do this, so the first 2 are easy. The third one is going to be shifted in a block, though. So you see, down diagonally 1, down diagonally 2, down diagonally 3 would be here. So it is another block kind of back, or towards the center of her back. Like that. From there, on the back, I'll go down diagonally in by 1 from either side. In 1. Down diagonally in, and I'll fill between those with smooth quartz. And everything between the 2 smooth quartz areas, you will replace that gold with more smooth quartz. And yeah, as I had said I would do. These ones are going to be weird for the other versions, I feel like. Especially like Kinger. Kinger's version. Does Gangle... You know, I don't actually know what Gangle's looks like here. I can picture all of them but Gangle, I think. I can only half picture Zooble. I don't know, there's too much happening in this scene. Anywho, you should have this. Do I want to get the arms out of the way? Yeah, sure. Both arms are the same, so we're doing these simultaneously. You will take both sides of the top, and it's the same position all of them have started. 1 row down from the top center, you'll take the middle 2 smooth quartz, and this time you are extending out with 5 smooth quartz per block. Like so. The first row is irrelevant. The second and third going out, you'll place smooth quartz underneath, and the fourth and fifth, you'll place smooth quartz above, like that, which gives you a good diagonal angle. Side note as I'm here, I couldn't see her hands at any point in this, so I didn't give her gloves, because I just felt like she wouldn't have gloves. You can make them gold or something, too. I think that'd be cool. Okay, so at the end of this, you have a 2x2x2 cube, as you can see. You want to place another one of these outside of it that is also shifted up a block, kind of the same thing. And I'll show you, basically, if you were to take the top row of smooth quartz, you'd extend 2 blocks out and bring each of those 4 in total up, like so. You will copy that cube on either side an additional 3 times going up and out. So once, twice, and thrice. Once, twice, thrice, like so. The back row of smooth quartz, you'll extend out with an additional 2 smooth quartz like this, 1 per block, so it's a row of 2 going up, which you'll then extend up an additional 1, making it a row of 3. Extend that row of 3 back by 1 row and out an additional 2, and we are past the grid, I think, now. We'll go a little bit further out. I think it's 2 blocks further out, yeah. Of these 3 rows, you'll take the middle row of smooth quartz and add 1 more to the outside of it, and the top one you'll extend out by 2. That video took so long to check. What? I uploaded that like an hour ago, and it just finished checking. It was a 5-minute video. Why, YouTube? Anyway, you should have this. Each end block of each of those rows, you'll extend forward with a smooth quartz like this. And then on the... Not on this front row on the inside of the hand, but 1 row back, I'll place a smooth quartz on top of this that I will extend out 1 and then forward 1 like that. And yeah, so the statue's heights aren't correct, but if I end up doing all of these, you can, I'd imagine, put these all next to each other and the heights would work enough to where their hands will at least be positioned on a different character. Although, I'm gonna try to have all the arm positions correct, but I know Pomni is like really tall in the grand scheme of things for my statues. Shocking, I know. So it might not work perfectly, but anyway. The neck for her is the same. If you take this front row of smooth quartz on the bottom of the head, count back a row, and bring the middle 2 down with smooth quartz. I'll extend back diagonally out 1, back, and then I'll just fill in the middle. This one doesn't stick over the back, since I just didn't have it do that. I don't know. Okay. Let's get her legs out of the way, and then we just have the feathers after that. Take the underside of these smooth quartz, and if you're taking the middle 2 rows, you have a 4x2 of smooth quartz on either side like this. You're ignoring the outer row, and the other 3 you'll extend down with 1 smooth quartz each. Like so. You can take the more of these 2 little nubs, and take the rightmost 2x2 of smooth quartz and extend it all the way down until you are 1 off the ground. You don't technically need to go this low, but it's just going to make our life easier if we do exactly this. like that. I will place raw gold underneath that smooth quartz. And I'll also place raw gold off each side of the bottom row of smooth quartz like this. I will not connect the corners though. It's just going to be like a, sort of like a pirate's, like whatever, what is it called? The stilt. I don't want to say stilt. No, that's not correct. I can't think of it. My bad. Do connect the front, or the corners on the front though, with gold together. And then I will bring this full row of 4 on the front forward with an additional row of gold. Then I'll go down a row from there. And then forward with 3 rows. The middle 2 gold on both of these rows, well actually on only the bottom row you'll extend forward with gold, like so. On the top row you're actually extending forward with smooth quartz, and then you are placing gold around the smooth quartz, like so. From the smooth quartz, I'll extend up diagonally back, and then back a row, like so. That back row of smooth quartz, I'll place a gold outside of on either side. And then I'll go back 3 from either side. Connect together at the back, and it would be the backmost 2 rows of gold. You'll extend up an additional 1 per block, giving you that for the shoe. And I think that's pretty shoey, if you'd ask me. That's such a sentence, wow. Anyway, the other leg is a lot annoyinger, because that's a word. Take the 3x2 of smooth quartz on this side, and you actually are going to want to take the leftmost 2 rows and extend back an additional smooth quartz from either of them. In addition, you would extend forward by 8 from either block. Like so. So that is 8 forward from, again, the left 2 rows. Leave the back one alone, because there's nothing happening there. Like this one way back here, and the 5 in front, you'll extend down with 1 smooth quartz each. And then the front 5, you're extending up with 1 smooth quartz each. That top row of smooth quartz can have an additional 5 blocks in front of either half, with a smooth quartz on each, like so. And then from the top row, I'll go forward with smooth quartz, up, forward an additional 1 from each of those 4. And then I'll start with the smooth quartz for this shoe. I'll take the top row and I'll go up diagonally forward, up diagonally forward, or up with gold, up diagonally forward with gold, and up again. That is as far forward as you need. So if you need to move her or whatever, you can do that now. This bottom row of gold, you'll place an additional 1 off either side of this 2x2, not this one here. You'll extend down by 3 from either side, and I'll actually just fill in the underside like that. I'll then, from this bottom row, place a row of gold behind it. And then from there, I can go down with 3 more rows. The middle 2 gold I'll extend down again, and from those golds, the ones above those 2, I'll extend forward 1, along with the blocks above those. This is still in a little bit of a mess, so let's take that bottom row of 2 gold and extend it back with 2 rows, and each of those 2 I'll extend an additional 1 off the left and the right. Gold on top of those 1s, and then the front more gold out of those 2 I will extend up by 3. The only other thing left is actually breaking a gold off the tops of that row you just placed 3 up. My bad, I can't count again. And place gold on either side of these smooth quartzes here. And from the side, the shoe looks like this. We need 2 materials to end. You can get rid of anything else and get out white wool and a singular diorite wall. I want to start with the feathers on her back. So if you are on her lower back area, I want you to take the rows of 3 gold here on the far sides with a smooth quartz below them. This one, and you will take the top gold out of those 3, and on both the left and right extend out with 2 white wool. We're doing both simultaneously again, my bad. I know, it's kind of annoying. Extend down diagonally out with a wool, and out 1. If you do want to go back and follow it twice, that is also an option, though. From there, you'll extend down diagonally out by 3 on both sides, and then down 1. Down diagonally out 1. And then you'll place 1 inside of that, and from that inner one, go down diagonally in as well. Like so. I'll then go up diagonally in with a wool. In 1. Up diagonally in 1. And then up diagonally in once more with wool. And you will fill in those fairly small spaces in with white wool. Yeah, okay. I was a little confused for a second, but for some reason this looks smaller than it should, and I think it's because the other one doesn't exist that I'm confused. Because I did this really strange on the original. I, like, built them both. It was weird. I built them in line, and then I pushed one back, or one forward, whatever I did. Anyway, that really isn't important. Take those same rows of 3 gold on these sides that we kind of used as our starting point, and take the bottom gold of those 3, and I will leave 3 gold open on either side, and the 4th one in, I will place a white wool off of, like this. And then when you connect them together, it gives you a row of 6 wool, like that. Again, from both side ones, you'll go down diagonally out 1 and out 1. Then down diagonally out by 3. 1, 2, 3, and out 1. Down diagonally out and out again. Then down 1. Down diagonally in and down again. Down diagonally in and then in 1. Up diagonally in by 2. And in 1 from there, if I could place it. And then just up diagonally in by, I believe it's 4, and they will connect together. And you can fill in that shape also with white wool. I debated the color for this because it's like a really, really slight off-white. But I was thinking about bone blocks or something, but it was either bone blocks and dealing with the directionalness of that, or just having to suck it up. So if you want to like do a slash fill replace bone block, you absolutely can. Okay, we have to do this other feather, and then we do have to fix her facial expression, because I almost forgot that changed somehow, some way. On her head, you want to take the yellow concrete, like, trim of the hat, and take this row of 2 on the left of the center. The outermost yellow I'll extend up with a diorite wall, and then a white wool. Extend that wool left 1. Up diagonally left 2. Up 2. Up diagonally right 2, and then right an additional 1. Up diagonally right and right. Again up diagonally right and right. Then down diagonally right and down. Left. Down diagonally left 2, and then left. Down diagonally left 2 and down 1, and I'll fill in the middle of this with white wool as expected. If you want to leave her face as is, you can. I personally just got, what do you need? Smooth quartz stairs, smooth quartz blocks, and white concrete. I didn't change very much. And I'm going to replace these upside down stairs for the mouth with smooth quartz blocks, and then you're pretty much shifting the stairs in a block, so you'll place a set of upside down stairs here facing towards each other. For her pupils, I took out the outer row of them and replaced them with white concrete, which are these ones. And then also the top block, which gives her these really small dilated pupils. Right? Dilated is smaller? Why can I not remember? It's been too long. I gotta pull up a dictionary or something and start reading. But anyway, once you have done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is all of the Pomnis complete. If you did all of them. If not, that is that Pomni complete, and that is the video done. Let me know if there's other ones you'd want to see, other, not versions of Pomni, but other characters you want me to do this for, Gangle, Jax, whomever. I think I'm most interested in Jax or Gangle, because Jax has Peel Jax and Made Jax, and Gangle has Manager Gangle, which I really want to do. But let me know. I'd even be down to just do like one for, say, like maybe I just do Manager Gangle as a fully separate tutorial, because Gangle would be weird. I know. But, yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, and thank you for those of you who did do all of this. I know this was like an insanely long tutorial, but anyway, with that being said, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one. Oh, it took my emote. That's crazy. Bad.